All right, Dill. It's time to go to battle. It's we're trying to watch two games at the same time. I was hoping the Texas game would be done before the Oregon game. All right, let's see what we got going in the chat. Dill, one of our first ever live streams. You know, the boys are starting to try to figure it out a little bit. I guess where we got to start here, Dill, is thoughts on that Texas game.
No? The Texas game is insane. Did you just see the touchdown?
Yeah,
It's tied again. And this
it's what happens when you play with the food a little bit, you know. I thought Coach Sark. I mean, like they had the opportunity to jump him, and they just didn't. And Kenny Dillingham, man, you got to give him a ton of credit.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because when we were watching that first, I feel like half the first quarter, it was like, okay, this is they're not even playing the same sport. And then it's the fact that Texas can't run the ball, I find simply stunning.
And that's a correlation. Like if you're an Oregon and Ohio State fan, like heading into this game, like you're feeling really good about, hey, if I can win this football game, you're feeling really good about making the championship game. Because what Texas looks like, and I think both Oregon and Ohio State can stop Texas running the football, you're feeling pretty good. And I think that's kind of the key to stopping Texas right now. And I think both of these teams can do that.
Especially Ohio State. They're just unbelievable.
Thoughts on Quinn Ewers?
I honestly, for a second there, thought did Sark need to pull the old Nick Saban and because he started playing better towards the end of the game. In fairness, I feel like he started to dial it in, but man, that middle of the game, he was not playing well. He was turning the ball over. The lack of athleticism is clearly a problem.
Yes, 100% agree with that.
Change my stream real quick. Yeah, carry.
The bullets are flying. You do your thing.
They are flying.
I'm trying to watch two games at the same time. I don't think my brain can handle it either. Oregon's uniforms, gas, as always. This is a great uniform game, if we're being honest. Very strong uniform game. I'm going to try to manage the chat, too. What's up, y'all? Appreciate you guys for being here again. Yeah, first Rock Boys watch party. It's been a minute. We'll switch over to the Oregon-Ohio State game in just a sec. Trying to watch them both at the same time. Appreciate you guys being here. Are you good with your stream, Dill?
I'm getting there. But I had to switch the...
Also, how about how I'm not getting involved until the fourth quarter, and now they're going to him, and Texas is having just a ton of success? I'll let you handle your thing. You handle what you got to handle.
It's chaos out here.
Ohio State starting. All right, let's rock and roll, baby. I wonder what the personnel looks like for Oregon here. A lot of the Oregon Duck fans, y'all know, we were talking about Devin Jackson and what he can bring to this Oregon defense. I think Ohio State's going to try to go to the perimeter. You know, that's what, they smoked Tennessee doing that. You got your stream up? You're all right, there we go. The first thing I'm looking for here, too, is the inside of this defensive line.
Yeah.
Because if I'm Oregon, there's not a ton of mismatches in this football game. Oregon's interior defensive line, again, you're already rolling a snap here. I'd also look for, hey, these are two really good play callers, both for Ohio State and Oregon. I think you're going to see some successful first drives, having a week and a half to get right for this game and dial up some plays that you like a lot. You saw Texas, start off with that too. Texas in the first quarter looked like an offense that was unstoppable, and it's like they just ran out of their schemed up plays.
I am very interested. That's a good start for Ohio State. I feel like getting again, You just don't want to see them shell up. That's been the one issue with them at times. You feel like they've not played super aggressive and like dynamic. And again, they got to play this way. We talked about the tight ends being involved more lately. It feels like for this Ohio State team, and then G. Scott coming immediately out.
Dill, sorry to interrupt you. That's 2 low snaps for Ohio State early. Probably something to watch.
Yeah.
It's a little different animal when you got Derek Carr and Jamari Caldwell standing over you. Like it ain't easy.
Yeah,
I would have to switch my
especially because you already kind of know that's like the issue with this team, and you don't want the nerves from that interior defensive line or offensive line, I should say, because that's how this game. I feel like again, I don't think it gets out of hand, but that is the avenue to getting this a little chaotic.
Trying to get to the perimeter again.
I'm trying to still watch this Texas game. It's
that's they smoked Tennessee running that same play. They smoked Tennessee running that same play.
It's a good big athlete there.
I'm surprised if you're Dan Lanning and Tosh Lupo, you're not like it just looked like you weren't ready for that. And you saw that all over the film against Tennessee.
In the issue is you had the issues with that with Oregon too. I would have thought again like that ability to cover the horizontal game a little bit better. Yeah, that's the best start. But also this, like when Ohio State plays offense like this, they can be a real
100%. Dill, that's like this game is just like so many difference makers. Texas just ices it.
Well, now we can focus on
one game at a time here. My mind is simply just not strong enough.
Andrew Makuba, what a guy.
Was it Andrew Makuba?
Yeah,
dude. You talk about like hammer transfer portal pickups, like Derek Carmen type thing for Oregon.
Yeah,
that's Andrew Makuba.
He's been so good for them.
God, the linebackers just absolutely lost. Really good perimeter block by G. Scott too.
He does a good job, and that's again. I feel like him playing really well. I feel like makes a huge difference for it because I feel like he's been somewhat inconsistent over his career, but he's played good for them this year, and obviously very involved in that first drive.
All right, let's get the Ohio State game up here. No data currently available.
Crazy. It's all chaos for ESPN.
Dude, it's chaos for me too. Like this is hard for me to follow right now. Wouldn't mind having like a little box score to look at here, guys.
I wouldn't have minded having 5 minutes between the games. That's what I wouldn't have minded.
Yeah. Go to the bathroom, reset a little bit. The bullets are flying on New Year's Day. All right, DG. Here we go, baby. Good start for Cody Simon there.
It's a good play. Be able to play that perimeter. I'm interested to see how they rotate this D-line, if they do it at all.
Dude, I feel like you want it's probably how much they can hold the ball too.
Well, that's Oregon's been good with that.
I'm interested in how Ohio State decides to deal with those helmets. Gas. I'm interested to see how Ohio State deals with Tez Johnson. Like last game, they were extremely aggressive. I got to switch over my stream too now. This is ESPN's putting me through the ringer right now. The boys try to do a watch party for the first time, and we are not built for the technical battle that needs to take place here. Dill, keep me updated, please.
No, I got to switch too. They bounced me.
Holy smokes. I thought you already switched.
Well, I thought I did, but it's chaos. Me.
Dude, we got a lot of work to do on these live watch parties.
Honestly. All right, I'm back. Well, the problem is I think they're switching the broadcast from Texas.
Yeah. Has any of you guys in the chat watched the Skycast?
I don't mind the Skycast.
I don't mind it either. I don't mind it at all, actually. Do you have it up?
No, because they switched it to Texas. I see the Texas interviews. All right, that should be good.
Is ESPN going to start giving us some stuff to look at too, or what's the deal here?
Dude, it is insanity.
A lot of Buckeye fans. I thought we'd get some more Oregon fans in here too. A little even battle. A lot of go Bucks, go Ducks. I like it. A little even battle. Dude, I give Ryan Day a lot of credit. That was a phenomenal start. And I think that's big because, Dill, I feel like Ryan Day's got this just monkey on his back in terms of playing and coaching in big games.
For sure.
Yeah, go blue. That's what I'm talking about there. I think the Oregon fans, Michigan fans, lockstep together tonight, just riding into battle. And I love it.
I know, but Ohio State, that's a really good start for them. As a Michigan fan myself, didn't love it.
We haven't seen Oregon go down too big in any of these games, but we've seen them bounce back. If there's one team like I'm just not super worried about folding, it's Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks.
Yeah, no, I'd agree.
For as much you get a lot of people talk about transfer portal additions, not great culture. Oregon, that's some of the best culture you'll see in the country.
No, I don't know how you could anymore argue again. Like even last year, they kind of had to cobble it together a little bit more. But you're seeing,
I love the Go Blues.
Their guys cycle through this program now. It's if you're saying Dan Lanning isn't like on the right, you're just out of your mind.
What if I?
But also, like the same thing. People talk about Ohio State like they're like some disaster. Like
we'll keep you updated on it. Dill, can you see the comments too on your far right or no?
No, should I log in?
No, you're good. I was just wondering if you could.
No,
I think we will. Hopefully we get a little bit hopefully we do a little bit better with the technical stuff.
I'm back. I'm back good, by the way. I don't know if you're all set.
Oh my God, that's how this game's gonna go. Big time players making big time plays. Jeremiah Smith
he's playing some ball right now. I mean, that's not even like bad football by Oregon. That's just
no. I'm telling you, this game's gonna come down to players making plays. I was a little bit of danger.
Probably got to get they got to get the pass rush going though. They got to start impacting this game up front.
That's probably where it starts. I mean, Ohio State went to the kind of the quick game early, so you didn't really get to see the pass rush. Good fit by Bryce.
Yeah, he's played really well.
He's had a phenomenal season.
In that side, it's such an important because I feel like that's been the one position under Lanning that hasn't always played great football.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, like both defenses are good here, but you got two offenses. And if Will Howard's gonna play like this with the ball out quick, accurate, I think both of these teams are gonna light it up. Probably 30 plus for both of these teams.
I would agree with that. But that's like Will Howard for the most part has been very good. Just Basically, if that Michigan game didn't happen, I feel like the narrative around him would be.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
He's mostly been really pretty sound. Not even sound, like very good. That Michigan game was a disaster. And Ohio State fans obviously need to be told you can't play that way in that game.
Yeah, Arizona State. I wonder if Kenny Dillingham stays. I think there's going to be Power 4 teams that are swarming Kenny Dillingham because what he's doing with Arizona State, like the combination of what he's doing on the field, but also in the portal and building this roster and program, next level stuff. I was so ready for that. I'm going 35-31 Oregon. A little bias, maybe.
I got
Oregon
bias in me too.
All right, let's get off the field here.
But Ohio State's playing some ball right now.
Donovan Jackson at left tackle really did a good job holding up against Tennessee. I wonder if Mateo Tatum can win some of these.
Yeah.
You got Mateo on him right now.
On both sides, honestly, because Fryer's not had super consistent career. It's a really good rush by Birch.
See, Dill, we'll talk. Like Jordan Birch didn't play in that first matchup.
Yeah, no, Jordan Birch, like that's because again, I know like when Ohio State gets themselves rolling and they're playing with the tempo, like they can cover this offensive line a little bit, but that's two guys still getting really kind of walked right into the pocket. They're left guard and Fryer. But that's like Oregon's linebackers need to play well. Their safeties need to play well. They need to keep them off the perimeter.
The whole team needs to play well. I like that analysis. Agreed.
You're an idiot. You don't. I'm not going to get that way early. You're not going to get in my head. Oh, thank God. That would have been a heck of a play by, I think is that Styles? Lorenzo Styles, number 3?
Yeah, Styles.
I know
Sonny's older. Yeah. All right, we got to stay on the football field here because one of the things we talked about was Oregon's depth on the defensive line too. I think Oregon fans know that, and you saw the noise around Oregon's defense being sick against Penn State. But at the end of the day, like Derek Carr and Jamar Caldwell, they played 50-plus snaps each. You probably don't want to get in that situation again. Oregon's got to stay on the field on offense here.
100% agree with that.
117 yards to 9. If you're Oregon, you're happy with only being down 7-0. You still got plenty of time, obviously.
Yeah, but they got to put a drive together here. Otherwise, that's just me a lot of time on the field for their defense. And again, with the way they don't rotate their interior defensive line, like they can't play a game, I think, where they're being totally dominated on time of possession. I don't think that sets up well for them.
Agreed. Dr. Pepper commercials, best thing going right now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I agree. Bosworth. Anyone who's watched the Boz on 30 for 30. Old school college football 30 for 30s are the best. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes.
The U
is the best one, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
How many were there? 3?
Yes. I think there were just 2. One about the first run and then one about the early 2000s, if I recall. in like the Nevin Shapiro days.
Who do you have the winner of this comfortably over Texas? Got it, right?
No, I don't think. Right now? I think Texas slept in this game, but that. I don't know.
Dude, I'm nervous because whenever Texas can run the football, and like we don't have this conversation enough about Texas. They've looked good, but they did not play a very strong SEC schedule. Like when they played teams that were playoff caliber, they didn't look all that good.
And when again, they've played Georgia, now ASU, both teams really shut them down in the run. The fact that they ran it though against Clemson makes me probably lessens my concern. But
I don't know what happened with Clemson. I mean, you look at Clemson's front seven, every single one of those guys is playing in the NFL at some point, and they just, 300 yards, 298?
yeah, that is inexplicable, I feel like, what they Also, I agree with that Oregon fan. Jeremiah Smith is definitely an alien. I don't understand how he's doing what he does.
Yeah,
The
I
fact that he
think,
moves like not just like straight line speed, but like really smooth at that size. And
yeah, 100%. I think he's going to be one of the best wide receivers ever to play. It's really hard to deny that.
no, they're.
Yeah, I think that's a really good take, Sam. I agree. Like their best football is really dang good football, but I mean, if they play like that, they're
But
not winning
I do
against
kind of wonder what does their best football look like, because we've seen it against weak teams.
Yeah, you're right. You haven't
Florida,
seen
a depleted Michigan, like. But what is their A game against like in Ohio State or in Oregon, or like, again, not even to say that Texas can't beat them, because that defense, I don't care what anyone says, is unbelievably good. But I wonder what that offense can really be in terms of, like, can they keep up with teams that can fill it up a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, Alex, this is my, I mean, like, one, Oregon fan, two, Michigan fan, two. I've been thinking about this game for the last, and I think this will be like one of the best games that we see in all of college football. Like, I think it was the first time in Eugene, Oregon, too. In my opinion, these are the two best teams.
Yep. That's a good start for JTT. That pass rush, I know we talked about it, but their inability to impact the first game was a problem. And if JTT is going to play a good game, Sawyer's going to play a good game. That I feel like changes the way this game could go, because those two, they were very quiet.
Does Ohio State's roster take it pretty? I mean, Ohio State recruits at a high level, but they had a lot of guys that came back for one more year. And so they are going to lose it. It's kind of like what Michigan went through after the 2023 year. Just a lot of roster turnover. You got to stay on the field here, DG.
Caleb Downs, that guy can play. I also agree with that. 3 to 4 points for the winner of this game over Texas. That probably makes sense given what we just watched.
Yeah. Probably depending on how this game looks right now.
Yeah.
See, Dill, they have Caleb Downs over Tez a lot. Caleb he's just good at pretty much everything you want in a safety.
He's unbelievable. That's might work out as a punt. Nope. Gross punt.
And this is what I mean for Oregon. Like, this defense is going to play a lot of snaps in this first quarter.
They're already there. Assuming
Oregon does. This is a really good, interesting conversation too about having the bye and just not playing for almost 3 weeks, because you are seeing that happen right now. And you could arguably say you saw it with Arizona State as well and Boise State last night. Like, all the teams, and again, Arizona State, Boise State, probably not as good teams, but all three teams that had byes also had really bad first quarters. That's not a horrible take there.
Be interesting to see if Georgia comes out of the gate storming, or
true sophomore, Sam. I can't wait till he's out of Columbus.
I can't either. That guy,
They got two young cats who are Jeremiah Smith and Caleb are special dudes.
Yeah, I'd say.
I wonder what Oregon does to try to take away Jeremiah Smith, because it is very clear that they want to get Jeremiah Smith. How many yards does he have right off the rip here? That's insane. 86. True freshman. Dill, weird. Doesn't it seem like true freshmen hit their strides like in these playoff games and bowl games? That I feel like I've been seeing a lot of true freshmen play their best football. Like, it's like that extra like 3 weeks of practice, and it's all of a sudden like, yeah, I'm not a freshman anymore, I'm a sophomore. Now, granted, Jeremiah Smith, he's kind of been that guy all year, but I feel like I've seen a lot of, even in the playoff games, like Luke Reynolds was getting a lot of buzz for Penn State last night, or Byrne, I should say. It's like that extra 3 weeks you turn into you're a sophomore now. You're a second-year cat. And Jeremiah Smith's just been that guy.
You could say the same thing for our Wolverines with Jordan Marshall popping off.
Dog.
Alabama.
Jordan Marshall's going to be stud.
Ohio's finest. Jordan Marshall is going to be sick, though, not to take a tangent into Michigan because
we'll talk some Michigan ball. We'll talk some Michigan ball during the commercial. I'm afraid of that.
Yeah, that might be true. The time off.
Yeah, I wonder. I think you still want to buy, but is there a way to come out not flat? Because Oregon's come out flat. Also, I mean, I'm still waiting for Evan Stewart to get a little bit more involved. It feels like he's going to have a big game here.
They just haven't. They're not getting first down. Like they're not even giving themselves a chance.
To get into a rhythm.
Get a first down here.
And Dill, that's true. We've talked about this a bunch. That one, they're not really winning on first and second down. Both third downs have been third and long. This Oregon team, it's huge for them to stay on schedule and be in those third and manageable situations. They just haven't been in it so far.
No, they've been playing behind. I mean, again, Ohio State very tough to run the ball on. Will Howard sharp, or he feels sharp today.
Yeah, he looks great.
Not holding the ball much.
Dude, another low snap, by the way. Devin Jackson, come on, man.
That's crazy. This snap situation.
It's worth monitoring. Like,
I'll say.
I think it changes. I mean, obviously Seth is hurt, and you got a guy like Derek Harmon or Jamari Caldwell lining up right in front of your face.
Yeah, because I mean, is it Hinsman playing center now? Is that who they've had to move in there? I mean, he's played a lot of center, but it's obviously been a little while. Because he was obviously going for them last year.
I mean, that's a money throw.
That's a sick throw. Yeah, that's such a sick throw.
All right, we haven't seen Dan go down. Have we seen him go down 14 at all? Maybe early in the season they got down, but
go down to like a Boise State. I mean, it was like always felt like shot for shot with those teams that they were playing tight.
Yeah,
Will Howard get rolling. Will Howard.
You just gotta let Oregon get into a rhythm here, and Ohio State is jumping on him. This will be a big drive. You can't have another 3-and-out. Yeah, it feels like you got to score, quite frankly.
This is a 3-and-out. That's a huge problem.
Yeah.
But I don't even say Oregon's playing horrible on defense. There's just Will Howard.
That's a seed by Will Howard.
Cutting it up.
And what, you're getting that, looks like a little cover 2 look. You just rip it up the seam. It's just, Brandon Johnson was running with him. You just can't throw a ball better. Dill, I will say that. I think one position that Oregon, Oregon's one of the most complete teams in the country, but having a safety, like Kobe Savage's range back there is just not great.
They need that, because even Tysheem Johnson, I feel like you like him better in the box, too.
His range is... Dylan Tiemann coming in for Purdue, that's going to be a huge
helpful add for sure.
Yeah. All right. We need a drive here.
Need it. Michigan fans need it. Oregon fans need it. I don't know what Texas fans think. I'd be kind of interested to know what
I wouldn't be shaking in my boots if I saw the way Will Howard slinging the rock. If Will Howard plays like this is a
dangerous
really
Will
hard
Howard.
Yeah, it's a dangerous Ohio State team.
It's dangerous if they're not playing well at the court or playing decent at the quarterback spot.
Regardless, yeah.
If he's going to play like an elite quarterback, that's very dangerous.
Boys just broke a record for the word dangerous. Fan. through the bag of tricks a little bit. Trayshawn Holden just kind of missing a block. It's a hard defense to run that stuff on because they're fast.
Yeah,
they're aggressive though, but they're fast.
They're fast and their corners tackle, and they want to tackle.
Another negative play on first down.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know what I don't have the answer right now. What they need to get to. Not sure this.
I have an answer. Let's get a first down. Let's start getting some momentum. How's that?
You get the ball down the field. I think this.
I do agree with that.
A lot of screens, a lot of.
Yeah, I mean that's part of Oregon's game. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes you might have to go vertical to open up some of the stuff underneath. Rushing 3, dropping 8 here. All right, you gotta make a miss, T Ferg. That's huge, T Ferg. Come on.
Yep, that is big play. This is, just needed one, hopefully.
You just needed one, and let's stay on the field. Let's run them more than 3 plays. This is the this is gonna be the 10th play of the game run for Oregon. Need a little rhythm, and we need to start winning on first down too.
Honestly, this lack of first down success is gross.
That boy Jordan. All right, now we're running. Let's go a little pace here.
That's really.
They are going pace. Love it.
Yeah, you might as well now. You get a couple first. Start letting it rip a bit.
Pass pro's holding up. They're working it now. Oh, it's a pretty good ball by DG though.
Yeah, it is. That's nice recovery by Davison. But I like that idea because I do think that.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to him a little bit with that.
Now I'm the lawyer. Will Stein's a heck of a lot smarter than me. I got a no cussing sign. I'm working on that deal.
Stu running it.
I want that to be Evan Stewart. That's Evan Stewart's game.
But Taz can do it too.
Taz can do it too. Yeah.
Taz can take the top off. Those interior guys. So good. Hamilton and Tyleek.
See, now your playbook is so small and you're letting Coach Knowles get just super aggressive with what he wants to do. Do you consider going here?
Yeah, you probably have to, right? Because I mean, Dan Lanning's hyper aggressive, but no. I don't know. I guess you get some field position, but start scoring.
I wouldn't have hated it. I mean, it would be awfully aggressive. You got a lot of time left, but
I mean, I feel like they have the guys to be very dangerous in this Oregon because their tight end position's great.
Need a stop here.
Yeah, no, preferably a quick one.
This game is over. I mean, a lot of football left, but you gotta start playing better if you're the Ducks. That's for sure.
Honestly. Grant, I don't feel like Oregon stylistically has a real problem being down necessarily. I mean, they haven't been down this year, but
that's a good point. Like, and one of the things we've been talking about with Oregon all year, at least my take, is Oregon can win in a lot of different ways. You know, they just won in a shootout against Penn State. Maybe this game, but they can also win ugly, running the football and playing good defense.
now the problem is, I think where Ohio State has gotten off to this ripping start, that's I feel like a very good position for Ohio State to be in.
Yes, starting at 14-0. Agreed.
Yeah, even how good that defense is, like
I think it's more with Will Howard. Like, look, if Will Howard's gonna play that way,
yeah,
you're gonna have to win in a shootout. Like, I mean, you can make some plays on defense and get them off the field, but it's gonna be hard to consistently get them off the field. Though, what I would say here is, like, if you're Taj Lupoy, do you have something you can dial up to obviously create a turnover? But that's when you start seeing Will Howard. Like, you remember when he threw that turnover, that pick against Michigan, and then it's get him off his rhythm a little bit. You've seen him get shaken up. You got to try to do something like that.
Well, because even Nebraska got him a little bit off.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, and you haven't, again, I feel like with the Ohio State, even like some of their fans, I feel like almost think we're act like Will Howard's not that good of a player. I feel like he's been like nails for them.
He's been
like a couple really like not so great.
Well, to be fair, if you play that way against Michigan, you're going to get the heat. I think.
Well, I get that, and all the people who are like Ohio State fans are too crazy about that. It's like,
oh, totally agree.
Like these like analysts like think about college football and come up with like that take.
Well, I mean, like, look, Ryan Day has been an awesome coach. There's no arguing that, but still, we're as Michigan fans, like, we know, like, that came.
I was calling for Harbaugh's job after
you were. Like, I remember we got back in the car. We were in Columbus, Ohio.
Like, get
and
him
you
out.
You were silent for the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know we could beat Minnesota. I don't care about beating Minnesota. I care about beating Ohio State. So the people, suffice to say, the people who are saying Ohio State fans are unreasonable, like, go watch a different sport then.
I think that's fair. All right, come on.
Another big drive here.
I mean, they're all becoming big.
They're all going to get huge for Oregon if this doesn't
play by Kobe Savage there.
It's a really good tap there, right? Get a little energy too.
Good, very, very good play. Big dog there, Carmen. Shedding blocks.
They got Luke Montgomery back in. I like it. I actually thought if you watched Tennessee game, he was playing some decent ball, especially in the run game.
Are they rotating up there?
They have been rotating. I feel like that left guard spot a little bit.
Okay.
Which I don't necessarily mind. I don't love rotating offensive lines, but if you're in Ohio State's case, it probably makes some sense with all the injuries.
I mean,
he's dominating. He's playing so well. Also, Will Howard, that's an unreal ball.
I know I'm all over the place with the teams we cover in recruiting. I get a sweatshirt for every team, and I'm a Michigan fan, and so I'm riding with the Ducks tonight.
Yeah,
very fair criticism. I've seen it plenty in the comment section. Yeah, rare, but it happens. The boys, you should have seen the start of the stream. It was a gong show. There's a lot of moving on technology wise.
There was a disaster. But also, in fairness, the ESPN
Tried to slip it again.
It's a good play by Johnson. Well,
yeah, it looks like it's been 3 weeks since they've played. Now I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
yeah, but I don't know. I that can't be the excuse.
No, God no. And Dan Lanning wouldn't use it either.
I feel like everyone's
You gotta have a pass rush. You gotta have a pass rush show up here. Another low snap.
yeah, that's fascinating. This snap situation.
Hasn't been a problem yet, but you feel like if he doesn't get him up, it might be.
Yeah, because I mean that same. I mean,
Jeff Boss has got a better feel.
Ibuka's playing good too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with Will. He looks super sharp.
They're also just staying. I mean, they're also just being really.
That's a very good play by Mateo. I wonder how much they're going to use Will Howard in his legs. I feel like these are the games where you want to tap into it a little bit.
I would think so too, especially because slow the edges down, especially Mateo. He's so. I feel like he's so good against run if you don't like.
Mateo's a hammer against the run. No, not enough people talk about that. I just like kind of what we said in the beginning of the year. It's like in these big games, that's when you're not going to use Will Howard's legs when you're playing Minnesota or Purdue.
No,
and these are the games where like 2RB set here.
I'll love that if I'm Ohio State. I would want those two on the field more than I feel like I've seen them.
Yeah, I agree. I would get creative with those two.
I mean, they're both like two of the better players.
Well, that's the thing with Ohio State is it's not like the wide receivers stink. So I think of it more with like Penn State. Like your wide receivers ain't that good, so it's like let's try to get a little bit more packages with two running backs on the football field.
Michigan, ditto. Although nothing was good on offense.
Right now, Will Howard's playing elite. Yeah, there's no other way to argue that. I totally agree. I mean, he is playing very good football. It's a national championship Ohio State team right now. Now the question is, can you play like that? How many quarters they got left? 3, 11. Quick math from the kid.
Do the math too. 11 sounds about right. But he is. I mean, if he plays this way all game, I don't like. Again, I don't know that Oregon's playing incredible defense, but I don't know what you do about him.
8 of 12 for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first quarter of the Rose Bowl.
That's sick.
Not a bad start, man. I think Jeremiah Smith, he's got to be over Honda, right?
Well, what did he just catch one for 30? He caught one earlier for about 50.
He's on pace for 450. Not bad.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's been like if I was him, I'd be ultra frustrated about like that Michigan game and how his usage, I guess, because he needs to have the ball.
Will Howard is not. I mean, do I think that's a good play? Like Will Howard, is he as good as a guy like CJ Stroud? No, but right now he's playing at some of the highest level football we've seen Will Howard play in his career, even going back to Kansas State. It doesn't hurt when you're throwing to Mecca and Jeremiah Smith either. And you got Travion and Quinshawn running the rock. But I think they're doing a really good job building the offense around Will, too. He looks really, really dang comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, again, they're. What is that? Tennessee 2.0.
No, we're not there yet. Dan Lanning does not lay down.
Let's see.
You got to get, as much as I've been on Ryan Day, Dill, for not playing good ball in the big games. This is back-to-back weeks where back-to-back games where he's had his. It's almost like you're just kind of playing loose. You had that disaster against Michigan, and it's like, let's just go play our game. They're playing loose. You smart mouse, no questions. 1 quarter in, we're getting chirped by the Buckeye fans.
You're playing ball the way Ohio State's playing. Yeah, the fans certainly.
I love that. I'd be doing the same thing. Bleeding. Look, if Oregon was winning, I'd be running my mouth too. Court had an elite roster too and never looked this good. Yeah, I mean,
McCord was awesome this year, though. But his athleticism was certainly an issue in big. I feel like just quarterbacks, he needs.
I do agree with that.
Like that in big games.
Very, very good. Jabbar Mahai, best players making plays in the biggest moments. That was a big one.
Yeah, I wish he could have.
I mean, that was not that. Will Howard didn't go through his process there. Kind of just staring down Jeremiah. Really good play by Jamar to run with Jeremiah. But
he had Carnell.
He's 1-4 in his last 4 attempts.
See if Jay Fielding can get it back rolling a little bit. It's pretty. I'll have huge concerns if they don't get points on this drive. I mean, I already obviously have a ton of concern for Oregon, but they got
you
momentum back.
Yeah, especially the way this Ohio State offense playing. You probably know you have to score on most tries from here on out. 4 for 118, 30 yards per catch.
What a monster.
Speaking of Ohio State quarterbacks, though, did you see why Julian Sain decided to hit the portal?
If that's a true story about Kalen DeBoer, then that's asinine. I don't know what else to say. And speaking about Alabama, I mean, they got their own stuff to worry about, but
that was a disaster. Look, Michigan's got a way of just grinding you down into the gutter. That's kind of what we did yesterday.
Yeah. We'll throw forward passes, though.
No, that's not our style. It's going to be our style with Bryce, though.
Oh, I can't wait. I was so over this offense this year.
Yeah. All right. 2 keys here. Win on first down. Go score a touchdown. Those are my 2 keys.
Get the ball to Evan Stewart.
I like that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I'm kind of interested. Okay, so that's a really good fit. Is that Lathan Ransom? I like some of that inside zone stuff. A little bit more downhill.
Yeah, I mean, that's just.
I mean, like they run a lot off the tackle. Let's get a little bit more downhill. That's how to me Jordan James likes to run.
I mean, I'd probably like to see Jordan James explode through that a little and be delivering some contact, but
well, that's a good play.
This is a good play, but I feel like that was a very wide open hole. This is a really good job by the line. They're working Kenny in this game a lot, Jay.
Kenyatta Jackson, you're talking about?
Kenny Sadiq. Well, Kenyatta Jackson's playing a lot too, which I don't mind for Ohio State, but I feel like I've seen Kenyon Sadiq a fair amount.
That's crazy. That deal. I mean, like, I wonder how Ohio State fans feel like this, but that's kind of like what we talked about with Michigan last year. Like, the whole defense was together for 2-3 years. Some cases 4.
Forever, yeah. And you Michigan, I feel like knew it was kind of
That's a huge catch by Trayshawn Holden. Not a great ball. Hopefully that gives DG a little bit of confidence. So it's not a great ball, but it's a very big catch for Trayshawn.
It is a really good catch.
I think you got it.
I don't see a touch. I mean, it looks like it's moving a bit, but it doesn't look like it touched the ground at all.
There's not a safety that gets more involved in the run game than Caleb Downs. I mean, he is a heat-seeking missile consistently.
So they get to get the ball down the field and bump him back. Although he's just playing middle linebacker, I guess. So I guess they're almost going to like with Jordan Hancock. I got him back. Downs up.
Another 3rd and long.
Yeah.
Facts, especially the way this defense is looking back half of the year with Wink Martindale. I can't wait for the year 2 Wink Martindale defense.
Oh, I am. I'm so excited for next year. This year was a grind for Michigan, at least. These 2 teams. Good for you guys. You got to watch fun football.
I think you got to go here. I mean, I think you have to. I know it's kind of crazy, but I think you have to go here.
No, 100%.
You have to go here.
It's like,
and you've had 3 weeks to kind of build these 4th and short plays. Like, there's got to be a play you like, and you got to go execute it right now. You have to.
This is just the last stand. I mean, not last stand, but like, you gotta get some points. I'd be stunned if they go, or if they don't go.
All right. No, you have to. I mean, you've had 3 weeks to prepare for this football game. See, I see it. I know but it's just the way Ohio State is moving the football and offense. I think you got to get points here.
No, if they don't,
and you got to keep. And sorry for interrupting, you got to keep this defense off the football field. I mean, what's the time possession looking like in this game? It's got to be completely lopsided.
Disaster.
That's actually crazy. It's just because Ohio State's been hitting explosive plays, I guess. That's not the number I was expecting there. But I feel like you got to keep this defense off the football field, and you need points.
I am very interested to see what they do coming out.
Dan Lannis and go. I think you have to.
That'd make me very concerned almost for like his psyche in this game if he doesn't go. It'd be like he's not doing what kind of got him here. Because I mean, you think back to like those Washington games, especially the one in the regular season in 23, he just was going for everything.
Well, but that's his mentality, I think.
Dan Campbell, Dan.
And look, if this game was 7-0 and your defense was getting stops, I get it.
But you're not.
And I think if you put this Ohio State offense back in the field, they're just in rhythm. You got to try to keep them off the field for a little bit.
I agree.
What do you think about our fantasy football league going on a cruise for draft weekend, Dell?
I feel like you need to be on a cruise for a while, and I'm not sure.
You don't have it. It's just a quick one. I don't like it either.
It's exhausting. It's an exhausting period.
I've never been on a cruise. Well, I guess the Alaska one, but that's kind of a different kind of cruise.
No, I'm just saying like fantasy football draft weekend.
Yeah, I'm trying to get dialed in for my picks.
The grind. Be a long week.
That's always a long 72 hours for me. My body's not.
That's why I can't do the cruise.
Not built for that no more.
Trapped with them for too long. It'll also be hot. Be hot out there. I would have to think if you
I
have,
bet you're feeling great minus 2.5. I'm not feeling great with my Oregon plus 2.5. I'm feeling horrible about it right now.
I couldn't pull the trigger on Oregon. I want them obviously because I'm a Michigan guy, but like after watching Ohio State,
All right, we got it. We got to pick it up here. I feel like this is T-Ferg territory.
T-Ferg or
T-Ferg
Taz.
has looking right at.
Ugh. That's gross. And credit Ryan Day. That he's got these guys rolling. It's a really nice play by Simon. Once he get eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah. All right. We've been saying must stop for a while. I think it's actually must stop territory now.
Well, now you're getting to the point where every drive, every like, it's all must stop. It's all must score. The grinding on him too.
Both quarterbacks have 8 completions. Those completions have just looked a little bit different.
Basically, the completion stats are basically the same, and
yeah. Well, I think we're looking for that too. I mean, Oregon's got to start pushing it down the field a little bit.
Yeah, because they gotta this game's gonna go too short if they don't. Oh my god, he's wide open. It's a disaster. This is a disaster for the Ducks right now.
I mean,
what'd you do?
This is one coaching staff beating the other right now, if we're being honest. It just Ryan Day's coming out. Him and Coach Kelly have just dialed everything up. Everything is working for Ohio State that they're going to. In Oregon, it's nothing.
Literally, they're getting nothing. Especially on offense. I mean, they're not playing good defense, but I mean, Ohio State's made some plays.
Well, that was a bust. But I mean,
yeah, aside from that one, but
I mean, just is that Kobe Savage back there? Who was the other? It's that is a deal. There's not a ton of knocks on this Oregon roster. It's one of the most talented rosters that you see in college football. The safety position is just it's not elite like every other position on the football field for Oregon, and Ohio State's getting after in the deeper third.
I think that's why Tiedemann was a monster.
Appreciate you, Bo. Aggie fan living in Eugene. I'm trying to make it out to you. Have you ever been to a Ducks game? I'm trying to make it out to one. Ideally, Michigan, Oregon.
Well, now we can go. We can go to like a USC. We can go to Oregon. We can go to Wash. Like all those games are like
tailgate on a boat.
Yeah, find someone to hook me up.
Out of those 3, where are you going first? USC, Washington, Eugene.
Probably it would be USC if USC is kind of rolling, because I would like that feels like but the issue obviously with USC, it feels like if they're not rolling, then it's kind of a sleepy atmosphere. Like a great USC atmosphere seems really cool.
Yeah, all 3 of them have
Oregon's always live. Like Oregon, I feel like.
Yeah, sorry, Dale. Back to the game. My fault. So cutting you off with your takes. this does feel like, and I look, if you asked me to start a program and I got to choose any coach across the country, I'd probably take Dan Lanning. I think it's fair to say you're getting a little outcoached right here. It just one team seems ready to play, one team doesn't. But I think number two, I mean, Ohio State's come out with a laundry list of plays that they really like, and they're going out and executing. To me, it looks like Oregon really didn't. You don't have a 10-play script that you really like, and you feel good you can go out and execute.
And that is like,
Yeah,
I
agree with
mean,
this.
like postseason Lanning has not been unbelievable at this point in his career, and obviously super short. So like people are saying the same thing about Kirby for a while.
Yeah, agreed. Dan Lanning will be fine. It's just, I think it's just
No,
and again, if
talent he's bringing in, but yeah, this is
you're going to have a roster that competes for national championships every single year. You just got to get in these positions more and get a little bit more comfortable in them. Dill, you got a fellow Brennan Marion supporter. I'll let you take that one.
Shout out. Brennan Marion's.
He's at Sac State now.
I'm very surprised he took that job though.
I think he wanted to be a head coach, man, and he seemed like he got passed up for. I mean, like who was hiring for offense coordinators? Florida State was, Michigan was, and it didn't even sound like Brennan Marion was like even.
Well, I get the sense he wanted the UNLV job.
And I'm surprised they didn't give it to him. Like, I don't hate the Dan Mullen hire, but I'm surprised.
I mean, they went out and got a coach I'd never thought in a million years would be coaching UNLV. So
yeah, it's a good. I mean, you can say what you want about Dan Mullen at Florida. He's won a lot of football games, knows how to run a program, kind of.
Well, I think it's a decent fit. I'm not sure he's designed to be at the big schools, but UNLV might make sense for him. I have no idea.
If you play him, he has like that 18-year-old face. For one, he looks like just a grown man, and he carries himself like that too. Like everything you heard about Jeremiah Smith, like he doesn't carry himself like a true freshman, and I think it's so true. All right, getting Noah Whittington a little burn here. Dude, if you're going to get light boxes like that, you have to run the football better than that.
Yeah, Tyleik Williams is being a hammer, though. There's a couple plays he's made. Jay, they're getting on you, like the comments.
I think it's fair. I mean, it's...
You do the old switcheroo at half?
I won't be putting on an Ohio State sweatshirt, I'll tell you that much.
Can't do that. Could never bring myself. I'm sure maybe someday I'll grow to not be an Oregon fan if they stay in the Big Ten long enough.
Yeah, I am also a really big Dan. I'm a big Dan Lanning fan, but I can see it getting to
you play them all the time, and if they stay good, I could see it. I don't think I can ever dislike him as much as Ohio State, but
Evan Stewart ain't even on the field.
Is it Justice Lowe up top? Whew.
Has Oregon dialed up one play that's like kind of worked? Just like easy?
No.
Even the plays that they're moving the football with, it just nothing seems easy.
That's some skittish pocket play.
Yeah,
granted, I mean, he would no one was open, but Ohio State's just playing base defense for punts now.
Well, I mean, you gotta be watching for the fake. I feel like they're trying to find something.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, so to my count, has Evan Stewart gotten a target? No. Has Kenny Sadiq gotten a target? Dill, that's been one of the more, and you haven't had too much to like complain about if you're an Oregon fan because you haven't lost a football game. Very surprised that Evan Stewart, outside of really that Ohio State game, like just hasn't really been involved the way like I looked at Evan Stewart heading into the season saying that's top 10 wide receiver in the country, and he hasn't been treated like that at Oregon.
No, I mean it runs through Tez, and it, like that's okay because I do think Tez, Dylan, right, like they're dialed, but I mean right now the fact that they can't get anything down the field is concerning if I'm a Duck fan. I mean it's all concerning because this is like Ohio State.
Yeah, I would say it's all concerning.
It's all bad.
It's got to be, right? Is this the most Oregon has ever trailed all season? I can't remember them. Have they been down two scores ever this year?
Who have they been down to? Ohio State probably in that
I
first.
think they were down down against Boise State like briefly. I don't think they ever trailed in the Penn State game. They haven't been in a lot of.
They've been in some close ones, but you're right. They've always kind of been in control.
We'll be trying to. It's we're having a blast.
You saw the fellas at the start of this.
It was a disaster early. We ain't great with technology. We got a stack of books, a laptop. We'll work on it, especially for next year. East is a mercenary.
I would expect an A&M fan to say that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I mean, I agree. He is so talented, though. I'm surprised he hasn't been more involved. It felt like you bring a guy like Evan Stewart in because you brought Evan Stewart in above some really, really good wide receivers on your roster. And so you kind of thought that he'd be, what? I'm trying to keep up with these comments.
I did watch the Texas game. That was, if I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm licking my chops right now. I'll say that about
yeah.
And really, it's because you look at the way Ohio State's playing the run and how physically imposing they can be, and you see what Texas is when they don't run the ball. Yeah, this Buckeye team that's a problem for Texas because
Texas just fell asleep for 2 quarters, and Dill,
but like in fairness, we've seen that from Texas against the good teams they play at times.
Tell me I'm wrong about this. It feels like Quinn Ewers in the big moments does not play his best football.
It's tough because I honestly felt towards the end of the game he started to play really well, but like you're right, the turnovers, that's not good.
Smeesh, you got Jordan James going to the locker room, Tez Johnson getting evaluated on the sideline. Who's the RB2 now? So Noah Whittington obviously gets.
It's the transfer Harris, right?
Dude, Kobe Savage. Oh my God. This team is a.
That's
Was that Kobe Savage who came down and just airballed there?
Yeah. Yeah, I do think. I mean, I don't know. College football, like, does Texas have a chance?
Of course they have a chance. They have a roster that certainly has a chance. But the way Ohio State's playing, Dill, I mean, like Oregon's obviously not playing their best football, but I still believe like the whoever wins this football game to me is going to win the national championship. And if you are an Ohio State fan, like play like this for the next 8 quarters.
Right now, like what Ohio State's playing, like that's unbelievable. Like they're flying. No, the Ducks aren't out. Like the Oregon's offense.
So look at here, I mean, this is like a knock on these safeties. Just are not great athletes, and Travion Henderson just runs right by Kobe Savage and runs right by him.
You even really get a hand on him. You're right.
Look, you brought in Kobe Savage because you were really young in the safety room, but I do. You do get the sense they got to get more athletic there, and they will be with some of those freshmen.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing, like, because Oregon hasn't had a ton of cycles yet to get their guys in the mix. Like, their sophomores obviously look awesome, the guys they did recruit, but but also Ohio State. I mean, there's levels that they can get to that's make a lot of teams look like this.
Yeah, pound for pound, I don't know if there's a more talented team than Ohio State.
No,
That
talent.
that whole outside of the offensive line that has some question marks with the reshuffled, it's every single guy on this roster is going to go to the NFL, especially on the defensive side of the football. I mean, they got guys in there too deep that are going to be selected to the NFL draft.
Oh, they're getting wild now too.
Yeah, facts. It's the way Ohio State's playing right now. Like, look, I get Oregon's not playing their best football. Ohio State plays like this. It's hard to see anybody beating them.
I would agree with that.
Still your phone blowing up?
Yeah, I got a silencer or something. Everyone's coming after me.
Yeah, we're getting time to turn the phone off, I think.
Need to the people know they're kicking us while we're down.
All right, we got our first Kenny Sadiq sighting. Let's get him loose.
What's sighting? He's been on the field a bunch.
Yup. They tried.
Jack Sawyer. I kind of had that set up too.
Yeah.
You know, these that is true. These playoff
Dill,
games.
how many plays has Caleb Downs made?
This
I
game?
mean, he's just all over the place. That's kind of a good point. I mean, there have not been a ton of very competitive football games so far. I thought this would be the best game of the year. Yeah.
I mean, we saw it be hyper competitive in the first match. It's just that's really. I mean, this need to be a heck of a speech. The Dan Lanning.
It's going to have to be an all-time speech in the locker room. It has to be.
Even that by Caleb Downs. Like I hate when guys don't catch punts and give up 20 yards. Like him just like sliding under that.
He's good at everything he
A
does.
ball player.
Caleb Downs, still, I remember watching him at Mill Creek down in Georgia. I mean, he'd be just as good a running back if he wanted to be. Probably as a wide receiver too. He's special. I wonder next year if like Quinshawn goes, Travion Henderson goes, obviously Emeka goes. I wonder if he plays on all. I mean, like right now, it's like who do you want to take off the field to put? But I wonder if they give him some reps on offense at some point.
I mean, all the defenders are asking for it. I feel like now, or a lot of them are.
But the thing is, like, I get a lot of people are. There's not. I don't think there's a ton of people who can actually do it.
No, he could be a very good running back for sure. Like an actually good run. I feel like some of these defenders, like, yeah, they saw Travis do it. Now,
yeah, it's a good point. Wonder if we get a little Georgia type second half. That'd be electric.
Is that eerily familiar? I mean, just the domination of this.
Agreed. Special drink. And about Devin Jackson, kind of.
You take what you can get if you're.
We'll take it for you. I can any day of the week right now.
Quinton's running good too. I mean, those two haven't really had to carry the ball a ton. They're just.
I think Tosh Lupo might need to change the visor. That might be it.
Just throw it away. The sun goes down.
Dude, I was so fired up for this football game. It's all I talked about for like 10
I
days.
know. It's kind of a letdown.
Yeah, I mean, they do look like a different team since. It's a good play by Jeffrey Boss to string that out. Horrified, 100%. If I'm Texas, I'm turning this game off and just let's go watch the film on.
Let's go watch Michigan versus Ohio State.
That's what that I mean. Like, it looks like a different football team though.
Remember that this team is maybe beatable.
You can get on Oregon for not, and certainly they're not playing their best, especially on offense. But this is just a different offense, a different football team than what we saw a couple of weeks ago in Columbus.
I mean, no argument from me. Just like again, the way they're playing offense and not running into a brick wall like they were.
Yeah.
2-yard sneak.
Well, why I stopped is I thought Brandon in this was CJ Hicks on offense. I was like, did I just see CJ Hicks get involved? Yeah, you feel like a shot play is coming. I'll let you answer this one.
Let me get back in. I was
You
seeing
guys think
Nebraska.
I'll read it for you then.
I got it. Oh, yeah, probably. But also, like, not. I mean, like, I feel like you have to be harsh when you lose the Michigan game, like he's been. Like, I think it's a little like irrational, maybe, but that's
what being a fan is. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. But yes, like if you were to move on from Ryan Day, who are you hiring? You know, like look, there'd be a line out the door to come coach at Ohio State. There's no secret about that. But there's the sustained success that Ohio State has had. It's hard to find.
But if I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm loud and I'm angry about the losses to Michigan, like especially this one, because like at least the past couple of years, like Michigan had great teams. Like this was not a great Michigan team.
I wonder what you see with Georgia coming off a bye, coming off a long.
Yeah, well, Kirby, he was begging for the bye.
Carnell Tate with the quietest 600 yards this season. Nobody talks about him. He would be a wide receiver one on 85% of teams.
Like Georgia, Notre Dame.
Carnell, yeah. Oh, Michigan, he'd be
Penn State.
wide receiver one. Yeah, I mean, Carnell Tate's a dude. He's wide receiver 3. There you go, another chance for him.
BTA, yeah, that's a good way to describe it. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Agree.
Like, I also, again, I don't want to like be like the classic analyst or whatever who's saying Ohio State fans are delusional. It's that game matters a ton, and he is not winning it, and they're not playing good football in the game.
See, I tend to be more because you get a little bit more fanatic than me, which is not. It's not saying one way is better than the other, but I'm more like Ryan Day. He recruits. Not many programs recruit better. Not many teams acquire talent better. And quite frankly, what Ryan Day's done in terms of success on the football field, it's hard to find coaches who've had more success. It's coming down to one game, which kind of just feels like almost like a mental block at this point.
Well, and it is, and like he deserves his share of criticism for it for sure. Like I think when Kirk Herbstreit says it's just a lunatic fringe, it's like I think the average Ohio State
I agree.
Not happy with the way they play in that football game, and they shouldn't be happy. They played poorly in it for whatever.
That's reason. A really really good play by Betch, by the way, to run up with that wheel route with Travion Henderson. I mean, Betch has been awesome for Oregon.
For sure, a psychological thing, especially this year. Again, last couple of years, Michigan was a really good team.
Yeah, you can't explain it. You can't explain it.
Their performance against Michigan was inexplicable.
Okay, this low key, I know it might be a little bit of but I think this is kind of important, especially like if Ohio State decided to play this way against Michigan. I think you get a different like. Ohio, you could call it finesse. I get that, but it's like, where are your best players? Your best players are on the boundary. go get the ball to them and get to the boundary. And it's like they didn't do that against Michigan, but they've done it against Tennessee. Now they're doing it against Oregon. It's a different offense. I agree 100%. Dill, take on this. I agree with this.
Oh, yeah, he was gone.
I think so, too.
100% he was gone.
Okay, let's just play around here since we're looking at a 34-0 game. If Ohio State collapses here, what do you?
Ooh, that'll be interesting, Jay.
Yeah, right?
I mean, it's like I think it's so unreasonable to even like get into. But that's a problem. Now. If they collapse, it's a problem. Yeah.
Look, if you're Oregon here,
especially because like Ohio State put together the team to like. I mean, this is a championship team. I think Ryan Day certainly was part of building this, but like Ohio State, like with the guys coming back and all that, like it'd be tough to like have that type of collapse. Yeah, I still think the rivalry, it seems to affect the Ohio State fan base. And if
he's right though, like then it's like, does it affect the administration? Because like the fan base can clamor all they want for Ohio State to go. Like it kind of matters what the admin thinks. And I do think that's a good point. I think there's less emotion when you're the AD. I think that's
the fan base, like it matters with donations and all that. Like if they check people out because they lose that game, it's a problem. But also the fact that they still get in the playoffs, like that definitely makes a difference. Like they lose to Michigan, they're not in the playoffs. I think he gets fired after that game. Yeah.
If it was a 4,
it'd be kind of like nuts, but I would be surprised if they didn't fire him.
All right, Dill, is Billy Napier a good coach? I'll let you lead with that.
I think he's got Florida in a position to be really good next year, possibly with Lagway. Now, again, is he
get back to me in 12 months on that. Like, let me see how they look.
Good football next year. That's a huge problem. But he got them rolling towards the end of the year, and now DJ Lagway, having him, that's certainly helpful.
Would you guys still watch the national championship if it's? Yes. Yeah, 100%.
College football's on my TV.
I don't blame you.
I'd be close too.
Yeah, they're yes, I think this is probably the best way of saying it. It just hasn't gone Ohio State's way. I don't know. It's hard to fire Ryan Day, especially after what this team looks like now. Remind me how Oregon beat Colorado first half and bragged. I might need a bathroom break here, though.
I'll hold it down. That's.
I think I can make it to half.
That's a little bit soft. I feel like we're not even. This game's flown by a little bit, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess.
What's the coffee? Appreciate you. Even sticking it out, 34-0. Built different. Appreciate it.
No, I gotta stick it out. Yeah, I gotta do it. We're gonna have enough of them left.
All right, we got time to talk. Dill, Georgia, Notre Dame. We've gone back and forth. I think Vegas is right. It's a pick'em game. I lean Notre Dame because I don't know if Georgia can throw it on Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame can load the box, win their one-on-one matchups on the outside. Now, do I feel great picking against Kirby Smart in the playoffs? No, but
it comes down to me. That Riley Mills injury is so huge, I feel like. And I don't think either team's going to throw the ball particularly great. I'm not sure that, like, the way Riley Leonard runs the ball is, like, similar to what Jalen Milroe and Haynes King were doing. I think, like, they're much more athletic in terms of being able to get to the perimeter. That's not really what they do with Riley Leonard. I'd go Georgia because I look like that interior defensive line wasn't super deep in the first place for Notre Dame, and then you lose the guy who's
okay. Riley Mills Riley Mills not playing is a very big concern.
Huge.
I do agree with that.
Because like you look like Georgia's now. I look just probably going to want to run the ball really steadily, and
The
now
thing
you're
is,
pretty
Notre
much
Dame's
down
still been
Howard
very
Cross and some guys who just they're not big behind them. Like I look like Rubio and
okay. Agreed on the defensive line, but they've been good stopping the run all year. I don't think
they played one like good rushing attack in USC, probably in Indiana to an extent, but I don't think they've played great teams that are really can get physical with them. Fun. I mean, I guess like they don't play a schedule that they didn't see in Miami or a team that again I think can be a good
The
physical.
thing is, I think you can just 8-man box that Georgia offense because like the huge question mark about Georgia those pass catchers on the outside.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Without Carson Beck, it's not like he's had a great year by any stretch of the imagination. At least with Stockton, he can run the ball a little bit. But I don't know. That's going to be a real. I think
that's a very good point. The thing with this is that there's not a ton of film on Gunnar Stockton besides one half.
That is true. And he played good.
Oh my god, he fit that through that window. But that's a really good point. It's like teams got more on Marcel Reed. You started. Well, yeah. I mean, will Texas can kill if you get this version of Ohio State? I'm not sure who Ohio State's not killing.
That'll be a buzzsaw.
I
do think Texas defense is really pretty good. So I don't know if it's probably better in Oregon a little bit.
Georgia wins against Notre Dame. I mean, again, I'm not going to fault picking Georgia here. I'll never fault you for picking Kirby Smart and Georgia in the playoffs. They've been there.
I don't even know what that route that any of that was. I can't explain Nebraska.
Really good pass protection by T. Ferg there, and so sick. It's this. I'd admit. I mean, yeah. No, I'm high on Nebraska next year, though. Year 2 with Dylan. You made a really big switch with that offensive coaching staff too.
Yeah, I agree. That had to be done. I was a little surprised they kept it last year.
Yeah, me too. I mean, again, it was probably just like it's hard to evaluate the OC job with the quarterback play being so bad in 2023. But like Coach Satterfield, you had your question marks about Coach Satterfield coming from South Carolina. It's a memorable guy.
And he kind of got like pushed out the door, I feel like, by the end of his tenure. And Dow Loggins came in and started getting him rolling.
Timeout. Let's go. Let's get a little game here. What do you say?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't even know. Like, it certainly helped score a touchdown here. They got the ball. Oh, did they? Is that reviewable?
They didn't review it.
Because he was. I mean, that should.
Caleb Downs another just open field tackling. It's just like it's clockwork at this time.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I agree with this. I don't think they're going to go out and ask Gunnar Stockton to sling it around the yard. But that's not really how I think Georgia wins these games either, because they don't have the pass catchers to do it anyways.
Agreed.
I almost think Gunnar Stockton's athleticism might help Georgia run the football a little bit. Because, like, as good as I think Carson Beck is, he's not been great in 2024, and the pass catcher position has just been a disaster.
It's a shot at JTT. Grant, I do think JTT is a good player. You, again, did they play well against, or have those guys played well against Michigan? Maybe not always, but JTT is a really good player.
Does Oregon have? I mean,
it's tough. Not sure.
Obviously, got to score here. If they don't score here, it's hard to say they do. Long play.
It's a very long play.
Been there, paying a lot of money, going watching Michigan. it's
Hammered by Ohio State.
Hey, the Rose Bowl experience though, at least you get that. Obviously, the game.
You gotta take your shot too. I mean, you never know.
Timeout again, and you got to. Do you take your points here, Dill, or do you? I think you gotta try to score a touchdown.
Yeah, it really doesn't help you that much because you still have 5. What is it? 5-score game either way. If they, no, it would be technically possibly a 4-score.
Hey, you're the math guy here. Start dialing it.
I was trying to think about the 2-point conversion situations. It's tough.
Touchdown. I think you go touchdown here. Because it's not a win. If you go into half with a field goal,
help
it's just
that much.
I think you gotta.
It's cosmetic.
Even like you can talk about making it, cutting the differential, but I think it's a little bit more of like momentum here. You have to send the message to your offense that, hey, we believe in you. 2, Dill, you get the ball to start. So it's like you score a touchdown here, you get the ball back.
Is it? Because I just saw Evan Stewart out there in the helmet. I haven't been on Twitter. Like Evan Stewart should be in on this play, I would think.
I mean, it's just going. It's going to go to that bunch, whether it's Tez or T-Ferg.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Ryan, they got to see what Will Stein wants to run.
Take away their number 1 play coming out. Get it. Makes sense.
It's going to be a rough, what is it? I was going to say Monday morning. Thursday morning in Eugene, Oregon at this point.
Well, something changes drastically.
Hey, we've seen it before.
I'm trying to think of like this type of comeback. I mean, Ohio State kind of did it to Utah in the Rose Bowl a few years ago. But
you probably think about the Georgia Bama game. Is probably where you think.
Georgia was in striking distance to win that for sure. It would be that. That's probably the closest thing. Grant, I'm not even sure. The only issue is like, was Bama playing great or was Georgia playing horrible in that game to start? Like Bama's just,
I think it's both. I think you get a comment when you,
because right now Ohio State's just like everything clicking.
Needed it. Trayshawn Solon says, no celebration. We're going to the locker room. And I love it. He says, we ain't celebrating right now. We're going, well, you got to kick the extra point here. Then we go to the locker room.
I like it. I respect that.
It's a really good play by DJ2 extending.
Yeah, it is.
God, there it is. Like, can that. I'm falling. Going for 2.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Why not? All the momentum you can possibly find.
Yeah.
Dude, Evan Stewart's not been on the.
I'm really interested to see because he went to that huddle without his helmet. I got to look up Twitter. See if some.
Hey, you're kind of buzzing a little bit on the sidelines now. All right, Dan Lanning, halftime speech of a lifetime. We're saying there's a chance. Hey, Michigan beat Ohio State this year. I think.
Does an Oregon fan perchance know the deal with Evan Stewart? Because now I'm looking on Twitter and it sounds like people don't know what's going on, but he hasn't been playing.
I'm muting you for a sec to listen to Dan.
I respect that.
It was very short. Here's Ryan Day.
Ugh. My enemy.
Ooh, this is hey, I've visualized this so many times in my head. Give me a shot. What am I saying to my team in my locker room? I visualized it.
What,
You
this?
got to start talking about, hey, what's in front of you? You know, I've taken some notes. I've seen Kirby Smart get some of them. I've been taking my notes.
Yeah.
He always starts with what you have to do coming out. It's got to be like play by play, you know, systematic. Hey, we get the ball coming out of halftime. We got a chance to go cut this deficit again. Tosh Lupoy, you got to start making some sort of adjustments. I think it starts with just trying to get Will Howard uncomfortable. And it's hard to do if you can't win with your front four. Ohio State's going to the quick game, which I think certainly helps a little bit.
Well, yeah, because I like one-on-one matchups feel like they're going to be tough right now for Oregon. So it's like
say that you're playing. It's a funny one.
Say that.
Yeah, what are you doing? Well, actually, that's probably where you want to start with this halftime conversation, Dill. If you're Dan Lanning, Tosh Lupoy, look, Will Stein, let him handle the offense. You just scored. You got to come out. You're getting 4 to score pretty much every single drive in the second half. You know you need touchdowns. What are you doing on defense to somewhat slow down Ohio State?
I mean, the answer, everyone, like, I'm almost trying to like visualize what Michigan was able to do. But there's also the element of what Ohio State refused
The
to
thing
do.
with yes, agreed, right?
Also,
Michigan
like,
was
there's just not like a Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant combo. Like,
well.
that's
What I'm saying is Derek Harmon and Jamari Caldwell. They need to be those guys in the second half. We
yeah.
talked about it going into the game. Like if you want to give Ohio State some serious problems, you need to win with your front four because it's hard to bring pressure on them because they got wide receivers that are winning one-on-ones against just about every. And I get Oregon secondary very good, but Jeremiah Smith and Emeka, they're going to win doors. If you're Oregon, it starts with how can we get our front four to be more impactful and create some negative plays. Does Ohio State have a single negative play in this football game here?
It'd be like a very small negative run if it was anything, but I'm
looking right now.
It's tough because I don't know where you'd find the stats. ESPN doesn't update those live.
But that's to me where it starts. Is we got to start winning with our front four, creating some negative plays, and getting Will Howard in this offense uncomfortable. What that looks like, that's why Dan Lanning and Tosh Lupoy get paid the money. That's why I'm sitting in my basement. That's where it's got to start. And then on offense, you got to score.
Yeah. I mean, the offense, like, that's obvious.
All right, Dill, you game plan. I'm going to the bathroom.
All right, I'm trying to concoct like I'm Wink Martindale, but it's tough. Because again, as much as I feel like I look at people thinking what Michigan did to him, all that, it's again, I think you got to give credit to how. Quick answer to that, I'm a Michigan fan, so today I'm an Oregon fan. Not typically an Oregon fan, but hence why I'm trying to concoct because my Super Bowl has suddenly become Ohio State not winning a title. That looks like a problem for me right now, though. This Ohio State team is playing great, but again, getting back to like what Michigan was able to do, I feel like there's a lot of underrated of how dominant those two interior defensive linemen were and how they didn't really need to put guys in the box to stop the run. Those two just were eating it up. I don't know. That's kind of the answer. I feel like right now Ohio State's actually, for when they've had their shot to run the ball, they've been running the ball obviously quite well. So that's probably where it starts to me. Is I think you just need more from Caldwell and Harmon. Like those two guys they're monster, or they can be really good players. I don't think they're playing elite right now. That to me is where it'll start there for them. Because again, like we can talk about the scheme, but at the end of the day, why Michigan won that game is because Mason Graham, arguably the best player in college, or one of the better players in college football, and Kenny Grant not super far behind him. You need your big dogs to play well. right now, I don't feel like you're getting that from Oregon's defensive line across the board. That includes the defensive ends too.
Michigan fans, sorry, I'll just jump right back in. Michigan fans, Duck fans tonight. At least I am.
Yeah, that's kind of what I put it as. I'm a because I said the Super Bowl now, or my championship is Ohio State not winning. Problem. It's a problem for me. What are these guys saying, Jay? I got him muted.
We're having all the same conversation. What does Oregon need to do?
We're all just stunned. We're all just in shock. All right, I'm gonna take mine. So you concoct. Need to get something to drink.
Florida State fan living in Georgia. I got up to Florida State's campus the other couple years ago. I love Tallahassee. Yeah, I think that's really where it starts. You just got to get back to your football. Hey, you're an undefeated team. You know how good a football you can play. That's where it starts. And I think it starts with offense. Like, you get the ball to come out. Let's go put up some points and let's get a stop and let's try to get this thing going in the right direction. If there's one thing that if I'm an Oregon fan, if there's one thing that as an Oregon fan I'm looking for is we've seen Ohio State get tight in big moments. You got to get that moment there. You got to get it to that moment. Because right now, Will Howard, he's feeling great. This Ohio State team is feeling great. If you are Oregon, you got to figure out a way to get this one close and have Ohio State start feeling the pressure. Yeah, and you feel like if Oregon's coming back, special teams, pick six, there's going to be something. You're going to see Dan Lanning pull off all the stops here. I really do think that. I don't understand. You haven't even seen them on the field that much. They're going with Lowe, Holden, and Tez with the tight end. I wouldn't mind seeing Kenny Sadiq. They tried to slip him out for a screen. You got to continue to get your playmakers the football. I'm really, really confused with the lack of involvement of Evan Stewart. You felt like that was going to be one of the biggest storylines in the game, and he hasn't even played a role here. Yeah, I agree with this. Like, you have to play one play at a time. You can't try to get it all back. And I'm kind of with you. It felt like Oregon just didn't have an opportunity to get into a rhythm on offense. Maybe that drive can find the rhythm a little bit, help them stay on the field. I don't know what's going on with Evan Stewart. Dill, have you figured that out? Did you do a little Twitter diving?
No, it's Twitter sleuthing. It was everyone's confused.
Everyone's confused by that. It's wild. I wonder if he didn't get asked about it at halftime. I'm like the biggest idiot in the world. All week I've been talking about keys to the game, Evan Stewart being one of the most important players in this football game. He
was so good in that first game for them.
Yeah.
That's really really odd.
Do agree with this. We've talked, it's crazy that Oregon and Ohio State are playing in the quarterfinals. I would agree with that. Someone else. Dill, speaking of which, and I think this is an interesting conversation. You've seen the rumors about Oregon with Quinn Ewers or some Big Ten team looking to bring him in. What are you doing at quarterback next year?
If I'm Oregon?
Yeah.
No,
riding with Dante Moore?
It's got to be more, I think. I don't think it can be the transfer every year. Like, Dante Moore is going to be a third-year guy. Like, or it's hopefully Novosad, I guess.
It's one of the two. I think the plan all along was bring Moore in, Dante Moore, and have him be the guy. And the thing is, we can say that all we want. We don't know what Dante Moore looks like. And so Dan Lanning would know.
that is the thing. Like, if they go out and get a quarterback, that'll make me a little skeptical of what Dante Moore will end up being, because then he's too old to, like, oh, he just needs more development. It's like, if you're a junior and you're as talented as him.
They'll be able to attract that. I mean, the thing is, like, the quarterback market has. I wonder what like Jalen Milroe, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck declared for the NFL draft, but I could see like a big name hitting, and it seems like some teams are kind of holding out.
Well,
and then
because
making some moves late.
we've even like a Carson Beck. We saw that with Cam Ward last year, and then quick flip around. Not that I think that's going to happen, but
we'll see. We'll get the dominoes to start falling soon.
Because God, what if Quinn comes back to Texas and Arch leaves?
No, that one, I don't think that's a possibility, especially after what we just saw. But I think Arch is the guy in 2025.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I mean, the thing is, the only guy who was any good was John Mateer. John Mateer was the one program changer, I felt like, at quarterback. Everyone else.
Yeah, agreed. There was no Dylan Gabriel, Cam Ward, Will Howard in the portal. Just excited for the sunset now. Yeah, that Milroe, to me, I'm interested to see what Milroe decides to do. I feel like him playing at Alabama next year is probably not going to happen. I think it's either NFL draft or portal.
I would agree with
that. Take that account of it. Sorry. Yeah. LSU's offense next year is going to be very, very good. I think they've rebuilt. I don't know if the offensive line will be as good as it was this year, but I don't think it's going to drop off the way a lot of people will expect. They've done some good work in the portal. The question with LSU is, can that defense take a step year 2 with Blake Baker? They didn't look great against Baylor, but year 2 bumps still. We talk about it all the time. Year 2 bumps.
And they're getting a lot of it back, exist. Like they did good work in the portal on defense, but they're just getting a lot of. Now, the issue is I feel like there's a level of secondary play that are they talented enough to make the jump?
Well, they brought in Mansour Delane. They have DJ Pickett coming in out of the 2025 class. Because you're right. Blake Baker wanted to play a style of defense that LSU just did not have. They didn't have the guys to do. Like, you want to bring pressure and play man coverage on the outside. If you want to do that, you got to have defensive backs who can play man coverage. They just didn't have the guys back there.
Now, again, I'm intrigued by a guy like PJ Woodland. The safety position I am slightly concerned about because I don't exactly see the answers.
Yeah.
They have some young guys, but I don't know. The cornerback spot I think they can get right. It's the safety spot to me is where LSU's the tricky part for that team is going to be, I think.
Oregon brought in some. I think the addition of a guy like Dylan Tiemann is huge from Purdue. Yeah. We've seen it in this game. I just don't know if the safeties are Tasheem Johnson should be more of a box safety / nickel. He's playing out of position because Oregon needed him to. And then Kobe Savage is a very solid safety, but when you ask him to run with a guy like Jeremiah Smith down the field, that's not really where you want him. I think you needed to get longer and more athletic in the back end, and Dylan Tiemann's that guy. Plus, the young cats in the safety room for Oregon are really good. I think Peyton Woodyard, Aaron Flowers. I'm forgetting one of the names that played a little bit against Penn State. Dill, can you help me out with that name?
I'm trying to think. Was it let me get their depth chart.
He's a true freshman.
I think I know who you're talking about. Kingston Lopa, right?
Yeah, there it is. Good pull.
But also, I do agree with the redshirt sophomore comment. They need bigger players. They need some more size in it. They're a little pretty small in the secondary. I would agree with that. Good players, but even their safeties are all below 6 feet. And you got some good longer guys coming up, but
Dill,
yard.
take this one. Can you thoughts on the 12-team format after today's games? Kind of interested to hear your take.
I think 4 was always enough, but the way Ohio State's playing, they obviously wouldn't have been close. I still think 4 was always enough. I think you hash it out, and I think again, I like the regular season. Like I like that Michigan game being the end all be all. Like I always thought that was the
Yeah.
stakes for the 21 or the 22 and 23 yeah, those 2 games. Like that was unbelievably fun. Same with the 21 for that matter. And it would have been nice to have, like, as a Michigan fan, have bounced Ohio State out for sure. I would have loved it. But it is fun to have more meaningful football. So I probably would have leaned with the 4, but I'm not like gonna be like up here complaining about either.
Yeah, I mean, my initial reaction was more football. Thumbs up
Give
from
it
the
to
kid
me.
over here. And you're right. Like, okay, I can see why you'd argue like, all right, Ohio State losing to Michigan should be like a more meaningful game. But I think on the other hand, it's like then you're not getting Ohio State in the playoffs when they're very clearly a team that can compete for national championship. But you also get teams like Indiana, SMU into.
Yeah, which again, I think that's a little bit more of an issue with the no, like, do I think the SEC teams that lost and were crowing about it, like, have a great argument in hindsight?
Absolutely
No.
not.
Yes.
Especially a team like Alabama. I mean,
And South Carolina for that matter. It's like,
yeah,
oh, you went and lost to Illinois.
yeah.
You didn't hear Illinois crowing about the playoff spot though.
Or Shane Beamer crowed a little bit.
No, I'm saying Bielema didn't, and Bielema would be one. He's a complainer. Beamer was complaining a lot, which I get it. I would have been a little frustrated to see Clemson in
I
there.
don't hate this. I don't hate this. I think I don't hate that. 16s are bad. I mean,
I don't mind 6. But the issue is no one's ever gonna be happy with it I mean, there's always me complaining about who got left out, whether it's 4, whether it's 12, whether it's 20.
yeah.
Now, I think probably 12 might be it. Again, like, are you getting like legitimate national title contenders with the 12? Probably the back end of that, it's not. But
Okay. Let me find it. The playoff games should be. I think home field advantage should be more important or like rewarded. And I'm not saying like the Rose Bowl shouldn't, but I think Oregon should get the benefit of playing a playoff game at home. You know, you went undefeated, won the Big Ten, clearly were the best team coming out of the regular season. You should get your first playoff game at home. I feel very strongly about that. No take? No take?
I am with you on the playoff with home field advantage because it's just more fun when the games are at the campus.
I
That's one of
totally agree with that too. I mean, imagine
Like,
this game
I
being
want
played
the
in New
Rose
York.
Bowl to be the semifinals. That's probably how I would maybe have it.
I don't know. I feel like these playoff games should be that's what to me makes college football like the best sport on the
Like
planet.
all
Like
of them
the
up to
home
the
day.
national title, you would have.
Yeah, I think, man. That's what makes college football great. And if you are a team that, if you really want to try to reward teams for having good regular seasons, let them get to playoff games at home.
Yeah, because home field advantage.
Yeah, see, there's no benefits. Yes, in the rest in getting a bye, it's a benefit, but I think the bigger benefit is getting a game like this in Autzen Stadium is probably where I would go with it. I don't know, just my 2 cents. Maybe I'll be commissioner one day.
Yep, no doubt. I need this half to restart. Half times always feels so long to me. Back in my going to Michigan games when I was at the school, halftime was such a grind, and it still is.
Oregon had a week. I mean, but they played Boise State. They played Ohio State. They went on the road to play Michigan.
Played Penn State. He played everyone
In
in
the
the
Big Ten
Big Ten.
championship. Yeah.
It's like tough. Sometimes I guess just happens.
I don't think there's anything there's no you have a 14 playoff, people are gonna get left out. You have a 12 team, people get left out, and maybe teams get in that don't deserve it. It's gonna be like that. 4 teams, 6 teams, 8 teams, 12 teams. Yeah, I'm ready for this game to start too. I don't mind the half times in the state when you get
I get if under the 14 that Ohio State wouldn't be here, but that to me, I do think there's something was like about needing to be close to perfect back in the day. I think that was fun in the regular season, but Ohio State, like they probably should be a player to at least look like right now.
Someone should have Michigan been in the playoffs.
Yes.
Ain't nobody want to see us right now. Still can't make forward passes.
But it doesn't evidently
Hey,
matter.
how about something we can all agree on? What I think most people. How about the Big Ten this year? The Big Ten looks awesome.
SEC.
And I mean, it's not even a shot at because like we all know the SEC is a very good conference, but Illinois knocks off South Carolina. Michigan knocks off Alabama. I get bowl games, but it's been a very good year for the Big Ten. Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State. There's an argument that those are the 3 best teams in the country right now. And I don't know if that's a crazy argument to make.
No, it's not. And again, I don't think there's like as big of a gap between the top ends of the two. Like Georgia can beat anyone. I think you probably say the same thing about Texas, even though.
Yeah, that's probably a fit. That's they did not seem like when it started raining, Alabama did not seem like they wanted to play football.
Which is weird because all their guys played the game. Like, I mean, Tyler Booker, he's a first-round pick, I think, and he played. And granted, they don't have as many draft picks as they typically do. Tyler Booker's probably the only one I can think of that would have been an opt-out candidate.
Have we talked about Kalen DeBoer yet?
I mean, I think people are getting on him pretty hard. It wasn't a good season, but
and he knew when he was taking over for Nick Saban that the expectation.
He deserves to get shredded because like you lose to Vanderbilt in Oklahoma. I know Vanderbilt was decent, I guess, but
no, it's still unacceptable loss. Come on.
And they still like kept a decent amount of the Saban team, honestly.
No, that team was an underperformance by Kalen DeBoer. I just wonder if it's like we all know Kalen DeBoer is going to want to run things his own way. If you got to just have that year where it's like there'll be a little bit more of an adjustment.
Yeah. And he also didn't get really a chance to hit the portal because he came in.
Oh, maybe to an extent. You lose Caleb Towns.
It's just like Michigan. Like people get on like, oh, why is Michigan didn't get a quarterback? It's like, well, JJ couldn't have declared until the portal is basically closed. They didn't have a chance. I think that matters now. And that's an interesting thing. People talk about like being a playoff team, almost like.
Yeah, dude, the college football calendar is insane. So it's like
it's whack.
You have to get you're building your roster for next year and also trying to game plan for the biggest game of your season in the playoffs. It's
well, I think it's more that you kind of hold everything up, like guys leaving, guys coming in. It's just like there's no. I'm trying to remember who said it, but just everything being moved up to finish earlier is probably the thing that makes most sense.
All right,
we're restarting. Thank God. I need. It's enough complaining about college.
Yeah, we're just talking circles. All right, I'm dialed in. We need a touchdown to start this drive off.
Yep. I need a touchdown pretty much every drive here, Jay. Stating the obvious. And that's true. DeBoer, like, I guess it was always too big, almost impossible to fill the shoes, but it's also easier to win at Alabama than a lot of places. So the expectation.
Okay, last take I'll have before we're dialed in.
Hit it.
Alabama will never be Alabama. It is super hard to hold on to those 5 stars. You know, if you don't get your 5 stars on the football field, the transfer portal's right there. Totally agree. For teams like Alabama, Georgia that have like stockpiled 5 stars on the bench, now they're going and playing. One's going to Kentucky, and then one's going to everywhere. You know, they're going to play. I do agree with that. It's going to be harder to hold on to a deep elite roster. Very much agree.
Yep, that's which I mean, again, you kind of see that already. Like the sport's clearly more competitive than it was a couple years ago, or like 5 years ago. All right, Evan Stewart Are you listening to this?
You'd stop talking. Just kidding. Yeah, dinged.
Damn, that stinks. What is it? Did they say?
No. Well, maybe they did, but I think, used the word dinged up.
No, so who knows?
Man, they're really trying to get some of that outside zone concept, and it's just not working. Ohio State's so athletic in the front 7. It's hard to run that way.
Man, Tyleek Williams just beating these blocks.
Yep.
Evan Stewart renegotiated at halftime.
Should be good to go.
Put another 0 on that check. Oh, man.
Not how you scripted the opening drive.
No.
That's one of the biggest differences. I do feel like Jack Sawyer, JTT off the edge are beating Josh Connerly and Johnny more.
Well, I honestly know it's JTT or Jack Sawyer.
I mean, the inside guy.
Tyleek Williams has been killing them.
This was like you just couldn't have this coming out of half.
God, no.
Wow.
It's huge.
You're obviously going.
I think so.
Really, really good extending the play by DG there. Dude, Low can game. It's not a flashy name to talk about. Justice Low can game.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested because that'll be a thing to look for Oregon is what their wideout room. I mean, I know they've recruited really talented young guys, but they're going to lose a lot of good players.
They haven't been very aggressive with the wide receivers in the portal yet, as of yet.
No, they really haven't.
Just got it. Oh my God! Everything the difference in this game is it seems like everything is so hard for Oregon. It seems like right now. Caleb Downs just gets involved every play. I mean, like he's everywhere.
Honestly, he's playing so well. And also the offense, like they're losing the battle up front.
Yeah, 100%.
Jack Sawyer with the sack, bad luck. It's good to see the Michigan fans well represented.
Got T. Ferguson, man. There we go. All right. They're gonna get a face mask on top of that.
Did they call it? I don't think they did.
Yeah, they didn't.
Didn't look like one.
The duck sideline was calling for it. Maybe wishful thinking from the kid.
I don't watch much FCS. I got to be honest.
So I spent some time watching that South Dakota State kid. The COVID year when the FCS was in the spring. Yeah, I was watching. I was dialed in. But not a ton on Saturdays.
South Dakota State wideout. I know people want to talk about Gronkowski, the quarterback, but I want him at Michigan. Wild, I think it is. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, he can play. He popped when I was
Get
watching.
Him to Michigan, we need
white box still. I mean, you have to be able to run into this look.
You gotta be able to get a little physical here, eh? I don't even know what.
And they go draw. They go draw into it.
Don't love it. Don't love it.
Yeah,
But
we need the
Jordan,
sun. We
Jordan
need the
James
sun.
is a
The
problem.
sun. Yeah, that's a problem. The sun to start setting on those helmets. Dude, we talked about that. They are rotating a lot.
Yep. Is that McDonald getting in? So it's a good young player. Can't tell.
And now it's Limmer in at running back. Trayshawn Holden's coming up with some plays right now.
They needed him if East was not going to be in. But also, again, it's still like
everything's hard, man. Everything is hard right now. And again, to me, and Will Stein's a great OC, but it's just like nothing's like clearly working. Like Ohio State's dialed up some plays that are just working. You had that crossing route to T-Ferg that worked into man coverage, but outside of that, it just seems like everything's so hard. This is what you needed. 3rd and 22 conversion. DG's doing a great job extending plays today.
That's like, I mean, he fell.
You just need your players to make some plays here.
Sonny lost him. Rust is coming off. Yeah,
might be. What are the rushing numbers here?
Can't be good.
2 yards rushing? Sheesh.
What? My God. Gonna get a Elite Terry and the boys going here, right?
And the thing is, like Ohio State's not even. I mean, Caleb Downs has been a little bit in the box, but they're kind of leaving their safeties high. I feel like
it's the defensive line just playing unbelievably good
really
ball.
good football. Yeah.
CJ Hicks.
Is he on the field?
Yeah.
Spread him out.
He's down on the top of the screen.
Did we get a timeout before that delay game?
Yeah.
You don't want to be using those timeouts, but you probably need to score a touchdown here.
Yeah. Where is that Harris guy? Is it James Harris, the running back, the transfer?
Jay Harris?
Jay Harris.
Yeah, it was the guy that I was really excited for, and I know a lot of Oregon fans who are, and it's just not really in the rotation. It's been Jordan, Noah Whittington, and Jaden, really.
I would have thought he'd be involved, especially with Jordan.
Hey,
Jordan.
Oregon brought in that kid from Tulane, Mekhi Hughes, in the portal. Or kid hasn't official yet, but it sounds like they're trying to. He can play.
I'm not gonna. I haven't watched a ton of Tulane ball yet. I'll have to.
It reminds me of Blake Corum a little bit.
I know he's a shorter guy, isn't he?
He's listed at 5'11". That's like me saying I'm 5'11". 5'11".
Well, he always know everyone gets an extra couple inches on the roster.
I don't get that on my ID though.
No, they hosed me. I think they saw us 5'7".
They hosed the boys. Where you going here? I probably got to be. I mean, what's Tez's numbers?
Has he caught a ball?
Yeah, he's caught a few. It's kind of the story. Like the Oregon just haven't really gotten the playmakers involved too much.
No, I mean, aside from Ferg, who's played or been pretty, especially on this drive, but
man, they're rushing 18 carries for 3 yards. Obviously, taking a few negatives with the sacks. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a disaster.
Tez Johnson 4 for 20.
Yeah, it's not good enough either. You're right.
Yeah, Mike Elko has been going into California and doing a really good job. I know Texas A&M season didn't end the way you wanted it to. I like what Mike Elko's doing.
It'll be a big year though for him to get the secondary rolling. And again, another guy just like we
Man.
talked about Blake Baker at LSU, but man, that
I
second
think that apparently they're kicking around Tyler Santucci from Georgia Tech.
yeah, you said that.
I
Because they
mean, Mike
worked
Elko was Mike Elko does not get too mad all that often. I've never seen him more angry in that press
that was
conference.
one of the
talking about
funniest
that.
press conferences I've ever heard.
What do you say? I get nervous every time the opposing team drops back to pass. Jeez.
Yeah, and then finished it with I will not watch another
Yeah,
defense.
we will talk about that in the offseason where Bussy goes. I wonder what they do with him because they brought in a lot of good wideouts.
Yeah, and I know
I still like him on offense still because he's so dynamic with the football in his hands. But with how that secondary is looking, I don't blame them for having it. He'll be good at wherever he decides to play. You just got to make sure you choose a spot and stick with it.
I will say one thing about watching the FCS now is you get to see better players who might be playing FBS, so it almost makes sense. You always see a couple good Ivy players. It's a good
touchdown. Good run by was that Noah?
Yeah, good physicality by the O-line. Ball's out.
All right, going for one now. Dylan, can you figure out the math on that?
What does it make it?
I don't know. You're the math guy, man. You know I'm not, you know I had they
I think you're still down 3 scores either way, but
you think? I'm gonna have to get the calculator out.
You're down 3 scores. I know that. I'm trying to think like what I don't know. It's tough.
All right, making it a game. You cut it down.
You're down like 19 points. Right?
Hey, Dan Lanning, smarter than me. I trusted Dan. Now you got to get a stop, which is look. I think Oregon will be able to get going on offense enough. It comes down to can you stop them on offense? What do you think? Taj Lupoy has come out and what do you think happens? I think you got to start dialing something up. Your not winning, and I know you're playing with fire here, but letting Will Howard, and we talked about it. Will Howard's numbers from a clean pocket are really dang good. Yeah, I wonder. I was doing that too. I'm sure Dan Lanning's talked about it. I'm sure they had a discussion at halftime. Hey, if we score, what are we doing? He seemed pretty adamant. He wanted an extra point.
I'm trying. Does it make a big difference if you're down 19 or 18? Not, I guess not really. But it's bigger difference if you're down 20.
Start worrying about it when you get this game closer.
No, I guess it makes sense because if you're down 20, then you can't win with them.
Agreed. This feels like a drive where I wonder if you see them come out with like an onside kick here. It feels like
no.
The thing is, like, you feel like Ohio State will see. Like,
that makes me feel like you have basically said no mas on the defense side.
Well, have you seen anything to say otherwise at this point?
No.
You feel like you got to steal a possession at some point. Maybe give your defense a chance to, like, hey, see if we made some adjustments. But I do feel like if Ohio State continues to have success on offense, you will see Oregon try to steal a possession at some point. I think you need to.
I agree with that. If like they go get marched on again, then you got to think about just basically onsiding every kick.
Hey, did Tosh Lupoy have the visor on still?
I didn't see it.
All right, well, we'll see.
Hopefully not. The visor is killing us. Ducks need a pick 6. That would certainly help.
I do agree. They need something.
They need a big play. I agree. Like that. I don't think they win this game by just kind of beating them up.
I think they've only forced one negative play all game. I would like to just see a good old-fashioned stop where you win on first down, you win on second down, you force them to get into those third and longs, and you get a stop, and you string it together a couple wins. Really, really good last 5 minutes of this football game. You talk about winning the last through the first, like That's what you needed. Go down, score, come out a half score.
I mean, that was the perfect end. I mean, obviously it was needed, but this will kind of tell a lot because their defense hasn't done anything yet.
Agreed. I feel like they might be expecting it now, but at some point, you got to go to it. Maybe they're not. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. You feel like they got to go for it.
I just feel like if you don't get it, you kill everything.
Yeah, agreed.
Which again, like if Ohio State marches it down, you
Then
kill.
you start maybe onside kicking every time. Just say we'll take your chances. You got to think Ohio State's dials for an onside right now. Hey, what happened in that first game where they rocketed off a guy? You remember that? Where they kicked it off the up front guy?
Yeah.
Can you do that? Do you have that in you?
I don't think it's back in because I'm guessing they've said where this isn't happening again.
All right. Well, fair catch action. All right. Here's where the stop needs to happen.
Need it. Need it like you need air.
Or you might go back to that play, 3rd and 22, DG extending the play.
The one to Justice Lowe?
Yeah.
That'll be a big one if they win it. Not everyone's built like the Wolverines, though.
Okay.
Take that. Feel like you use a little more engagement from the Oregon fans, no?
They're coming, Dell. I mean, they haven't had much to be engaged with yet.
I get it, but you gotta rally the troops here.
All right, now you got to get off the field. I hope Amek is okay. Okay, he's good. All right. This feels like a massive play in this football game here.
It's huge. Huge play.
That's insane drive chart there. One play, 66 yards, touchdown.
I didn't know Ohio State punted.
Dude, the thing is, if Ohio State does not, like, if they go 3 and out here, like, it gets tight. If you're Ryan Day.
Then it gets real. Like right now, it's not. It's still kind of a wing and a prayer, but
it's buzzing now. Now you're buzzing.
Yeah, might be hopping, getting after him up front.
Now what you're looking at? Look at the Oregon bench.
Yeah. It's crazy how football works. I'll never be able to explain it, but when you play a dominant first half and then it doesn't make any sense to me, but like that, like now that you see it so often, like the Georgia, Bama.
All right. No, Dante Manning. We picking up a flag there? Thought he threw him to the ground.
That would have been a soft call. That would have been real ticky-tack.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Another score.
Man, that sun's starting to set too. And the sun starts setting on the helmets.
Is there a reference that you're making that I just don't get?
No reference. I've just concocted that idea in my head. I saw somebody see the helmets the other day and said, wait till the sun starts setting on the helmets, and I've been thinking about it ever since. So no reference that you're missing.
All right, I was just making sure.
Yeah, no, I'm just concocting things in my brain.
You got it when you go down early.
I love it. Agreed. And got after him. Yeah. Isaiah and Nair are going to Louisville.
Louisville.
Dude, they quietly, dude.
I know you're a Brom guy, but I don't believe in what's going on there.
Yeah, well, we're just gonna we could just have everybody listen to us bicker about that for the next 10 minutes. I think I'm gonna spare everybody that. We'll do it after the game.
All right, I'll have my takes.
I know what your takes are. I mean, Dill, do we have to start talking about it? He's
it
gone. Is going to be
the
most toxic Thursday morning in Columbus, Ohio. That you'll ever get.
And look, I don't blame him. I'd be as toxic as a human as if I'm an Ohio State fan.
Facts, ball knower.
I'd be a complainer.
Brom is so underrated.
Okay.
I mean, Dill, he won at Purdue.
He hasn't recruited like a single player. He's just getting portal.
He's using the portal. I mean, but that's like that's what you can do that. I think Miller Moss can play.
Do that and be sustainable. But
all right, no, we got Dill. We got to be locked
in. Please.
We got to be locked.
We need this.
Try to throw us off with the Coach Brom debate. It'll work too. It's been a hotly contested topic over the last 6 months for us. Yeah, if they get this, we'll see. We got to go score here. This was the ideal start. Go down, score, 3 and out, balls back, make it, take it, and then maybe you get the onside kick.
Then you
at a time, go Ducks.
I don't know, because then you're like really starting to not dominate, but like
the Oregon fans are kind of firing me up. I think we're all look at that. Doesn't get better.
No, it doesn't.
What a sport. What a sport we all love. All right.
All right, show me Lou Boy. I need to know if he's got his visor. Diego Papi at Oregon. I don't know. I don't see how you take him over.
No way. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell into the mic.
No, I get that. That was very stressful.
That would have been bad vibes.
Terrible vibes. When the ball's in the air.
Dude, Jack Sawyer's got his hands on a couple of these, man.
He is good at that.
Long, big mitts on him.
And good feel.
Good feel, yeah. And then Davis Warren also just threw one right to him, though. I don't count that.
Oh, that was about as angry as I've been.
Pass protect and hold. Gotta stop taking these sacks. It just seems like the first 2 looks he's given aren't there. I mean, holding the ball long.
He is holding the ball.
I mean, you do not want to live in these 3rd and 15 pluses here. Bill Jack Sawyer is winning.
Eating Cornelius up a little bit here. He's playing, and he's also, I feel like he's not coming off the field and he's still being dominant.
Where's a rush 3 drop 8 with a spy? I don't mind putting a spy on Dylan Gabriel now because he's extending plays really well. You feel like you just needed to put together a drive there.
No, he can't take that sack. Like, that wasn't really just
the first one.
Yeah. This punter has not had the greatest of games.
No, really hasn't.
Not that I would pin it on him, but
Diego Papi to Oregon. I just saw that.
It started to get my vibes up. Now they're
that crushed the vibes a little bit. That crushed the vibes a little bit.
Appreciate that. I don't know that I'd be a great play-by-play guy, but I appreciate the sport.
Dill,
I find it tough to fill that much dead air sometimes.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I'm looking at the box score here. Kenny Sadiq, 0 touches. Taz Johnson, only 4.
Just nothing's working except broken plays.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. I mean, if you're talking about what coaching staff has won this battle so far, and I get Ohio State's going out making plays too, but it just seems like this Ohio State staff has all the answers right now, and this Oregon coaching staff doesn't.
Nothing.
All these food commercials, not good. We need to order.
And losing, you find me or a huge Uber Eats order in.
Ewers to Oregon. My personal take would be if Dante Moore looks solid and looks to be the guy next year, that's who I'd be rocking with. At some point you got to start playing the quarterbacks that, at least in my opinion, and I think Dante Moore can play. Like, I'm a Dante Moore guy. He did not have enough help last year at UCLA. I think he's very capable. Yes, we'll start throwing it in there.
Honestly, I thought he played well. Like Dante Moore, he made some freshman mistakes, but
yeah, but he's so talented. I mean, there are throws that he can make that nobody else really can.
I agree. Gotta give Dante Moore a chance. I don't know how you sell the idea to 5-star quarterbacks if you don't. Like, he's junior. Unless he's really bad, I don't know. But I think he's pretty good.
You think Garbers to Oregon? I just feel like the chances of either Novosad, Dante Moore, even, I mean, one of the true freshmen, that Jaron kid can really rip it. And you got enough talented quarterbacks on your roster.
It's not like a great, like, maybe Quinn Ewers, but I don't know that Quinn Ewers is like.
All right, we got 1st and 10. Ohio State. All right. Ohio State's own 45, 2nd and 9. We're starting to win on first down, Dell. That's been the biggest key here.
Still got to do it on offense now, but
yeah, but I mean, getting stops is a good start.
Got to start somewhere here.
They're going back to Seavold. They've just been rotating at left guard.
Yeah, no, that's kind of weird how they've. Although I get it, it's not just not.
Come up and tackle. Nico Reed has played very good football for Oregon.
I feel like the Oregon fans give him hard time.
Yeah.
He's been good for them.
What are we looking at? Third and 8, 3rd and 9?
Yeah, something like that. Probably 8. It's a really good play.
You bring some heat. Hey, we got a little Blake Purchase sighting playing like. You got to think Blake Purchase is coming here. That's what I do, man. Attack those A and B gaps with these new. Yep, that's where I'm looking. I'm mugging them up front. You just have to win.
Yep. He's still a monster.
So physical. Yeah.
It'd at least spice this game up if there was a fight with the mascots.
How about the fight between the head coaches we saw yesterday in the Cheez-It Bowl? It's kind of electric. Shane Beamer.
Brett Bielema, as a Michigan, I cannot stand him. Oh my God, he's so good, dude. He's just such a monster, Jeremiah Smith. It's Ohio State first down around the 27 or something. The Oregon 27.
Jeremiah Smith, 7 catches, $187, 2 touchdowns. Pop-Tart Bowl, electric. They do such a good job with their bowl games. Dynamite. That's an obvious face mask, right? Yeah.
Now they need a turnover. I would agree with that.
Clemson almost made the pop. I think Clemson's going to be very good next year if they can figure out the defense. That defense underperformed massively, but Kay Klubnik looked really good all year, I think.
Cade Klubnik, if he plays that well, they would have been so good the year before. It's just, and that defense.
Well, I mean, think about what they have coming back: T.J. Moore, Brian Wesco, and I think they have the personnel on defense to be good. They just didn't play all that good as a unit.
They probably got to switch the coordinator spot though. I don't think you can run it back.
You got to force a field goal here, probably.
Yeah, honestly, maybe need a turnover.
Yeah. These linebackers are getting completely lost. We talked about it. They got to get to the sideline, and they're just not. They're getting picked off.
That's a brutal effort by both of them.
I mean, that's all you knew. Ohio State wants to get to the perimeter, and we need these linebackers to get to the sideline. They're just not. Touchdown Ohio State for those who are
listening.
Yeah. Sorry, not doing a horrible job with
that might be it. Probably is it, honestly.
Yeah. That's Devin Jackson and Jeff Bassa.
I mean, one's got to get over that block. Both getting underneath.
Yeah, they both get picked off, and we're walking in.
He's got to get these linebackers playing like they do at Georgia, or did under him.
Travion Henderson is having a heck of a career in Columbus. 47. That's third in Ohio State history.
He's healthy. He's been hurt so much, I feel like, too. If Travion Henderson was healthy for his whole career at Ohio State, we'd probably be talking about one of the better backs in college football history.
Oh, him as a freshman.
The breakaway speed, the explosiveness, all that stuff. He's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to see Ohio State if they play like this. Kenny Sadiq. Good things happen.
Yep.
Right? I mean, Dill, he's been I was I'm going to get the numbers wrong because this was a couple of weeks ago. He's been targeted I think 25 times. He's caught 22 of them, 23 of them. It's a 90+% completion percentage, yards after the catch up. He just needs to be featured more. Check it. 100%. Nice. Like it. All right, let's go. Run some pace. Attaboy, Poncho, get up on the ball.
They got to move
This is
because
what this is the recipe right here.
they got to hit. They got to start getting the ball down the field too. That's probably. I mean, I like getting it underneath, but
Well, if they're gonna give us that, I mean, I do agree. How many you took one vertical shot to Tez early in the game?
as
Have they?
as I guess, but one was like not even close.
Okay.
I think it was to test the one that like he just kind of. I feel like it was almost a throwaway. Efficient gaming. I guess it could happen.
I mean, you have to. Yeah. Bump this. Bump this. I mean, I just you got to get that kid involved. I don't get why not because he can block too.
Well, yeah, go here.
Yeah.
Very disappointing effort by this
Yeah.
Oregon offense. Well, both sides. You're just getting nothing easy. You get no plays dialed up on
And
defense.
we're punting.
Punting. That feels like a play to keep this close. Like, who cares? It's already a blowout.
I really don't love that.
No, I don't even see how you like that isn't a play. Like, how do you win now?
Yeah, I don't. That one didn't make much sense, but man, we got some juice for about 30 seconds.
I know. And then they immediately just let us down.
To the perimeter again. Holy smokes. Holy smokes.
It's brutal.
Get a hold.
Need it.
Yeah, I wonder, like, is he seeing something like that he thinks he can get a stop or that we're not seeing? Maybe.
Well, that's huge.
Again, this is like the first, second, third time they've gotten Ohio State behind the chains, and it was, I mean, due to Ohio State holding.
No Jeremiah Smith. I don't hate seeing that if I'm an Oregon fan.
All right.
Going to the fourth.
Think I might need a bathroom break.
Already?
Yeah.
I'm probably need one soon. I've been sucking coffee down. CJ Dupre. No, he's going to the NFL.
I don't think he had any more eligibility left.
He made the announcement.
Well, Spencer Brown from Oklahoma also made the announcement that he's going to the NFL.
Fair.
I could make one. Put him a name into the NFL draft. Kick return specialist.
Jeremiah Smith. Looking at those numbers, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I am interested to see.
Yeah, exactly. What were you saying, Del? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't even remember. I was something about like what Texas is going to look like in this game.
I mean, I guess you could start having that conversation.
I think you have to. I mean, I suppose Oregon could pull this off, but
I mean, it starts with, again, probably the battle up front. Texas's offensive line going through the injuries, though, and Quinn just not really dealing with traffic. That's a matchup I look at. And then Texas' secondary is great now, like one of the best secondaries, if not the best secondary in the country. So maybe they got a chance at dealing with some of these.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm under the impression, this is just my take right here. This version of Ohio State, if they play like this, which is not a guarantee, but if they do play like this, it's hard to see. It's hard to see any team beating Ohio State in 4 quarters.
this is too straight now for Texas playing this type of ball for sure.
Which team does Texas have a better chance against? I right now, Oregon. The way Ohio State's playing is Death Star mode. They're playing like an NFL. I mean, like, we know they have NFL talent all over the roster, and they're all playing to it.
Yes, and especially the defensive line. Like when they play like this up front, and I feel like been too many big games for Ohio State's D line hasn't.
And do you see Texas running the football super successfully against Ohio State?
No, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I do think they have more explosiveness down the field, and that's been an area where Ohio State hasn't always been the best. But
yeah, maybe.
But they can't if they can't run the ball at all. Then I don't know that they set themselves up well to. I mean, they've been horrible when they don't run the ball. So, I don't know.
We just talked about Isaiah Nayor's transferring to Nebraska. He says this is not true. He tweeted it. It's been some wild transfer portal reporting. Oh, I mean, for Ohio State team versus Michigan plays next week, Texas. Yes. Yeah. It just depends on what version of Ohio State you get.
Yeah, because I don't know that there's a huge variation in Texas, frankly. I feel like they
I've seen. I mean, go to the first half, Texas, Georgia, SEC championship. They played awesome.
Yeah, no, I know that, but I guess that's true. They were really, really, really good in that game. I don't know how they didn't win. Because I do think Texas, I do think their defense, man to man, is probably better than Oregon. Would be my guess. I don't think their offense is, but I think Texas defense is unbelievable.
Yeah, and this is a good point. Texas plays conservative, 2 deep safeties. Texas does have a front seven that I think could stop somewhat of Ohio State's rushing attack with a light box, allowing them to do that potentially.
Especially with how good their linebackers play. All
right, Oregon getting off the field. God, that feels like the first negative play Oregon's created. Second, maybe negative.
They've had a couple in the second half, but
yeah.
Yeah, they ran a nice stunt there.
All right, so if you're Dan Lanning, you punted. You feel like you got to win on special teams so you can get a short field.
You come after it?
Doesn't look like they are.
No, not really.
But they're setting up a return.
Yeah, they doubled both the Gunners.
All right, you get it up to 50. You got to score fast, though.
Yep.
Again, it just feels like you got to get this Ohio State team shake. And you saw them; they were getting a little like it was getting to that. Like you saw Oregon on the sideline. Yeah,
they're getting beaten up front though, really badly. Their offensive line won, I feel like, so decidedly in the first game, and they're really getting hammered right now.
Agreed.
They're getting killed up front.
Kenny Sadiq.
Get him the ball.
I mean, you're going again. I look at the stat line. This is not a shot against Holden and Ferg. They're very good football players, but when you're looking at And Tez Johnson with 4 catches for 20 yards in the fourth quarter. It's just not this is a bad recipe. Obviously, Jordan James getting hurt. Oregon's rushing numbers, 22 carries for negative 10 yards.
Jordan James getting hurt is a huge problem for sure. Because
Well, the thing is, they're not going to be running the football too much in this because he can't. He can't be balanced, which is a storyline, Dill. Because you look at what's made Oregon to me so dangerous on offense is they're so multidimensional. There are so many different ways they can hurt you. They can road grade with the offensive line. They haven't been able to.
Agreed.
You're sitting in a good spot then. Ohio State in the over 55.5. Yeah, agreed. Very much so. Notre Dame, agreed. I think Notre Dame's got a great shot at beating Georgia tomorrow night. And I think that Notre Dame Penn State matchup is really I think that's going to be a tight football game, as I guess probably the best way I'd say it.
Because Penn State now, like, that is the thing. Because I look like there are, I know I was saying the like 14 playoff was enough, but Penn State's very much in it. I think Notre Dame and Ohio State or Georgia.
Look, I think the if you don't include Ohio State, because the way Ohio State's playing right now, I just it's hard to see a team beating them. Outside of that, I think there's a Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Texas.
Notre Dame, I still like. Oh, I think they're good enough, and their run game is really explosive, but
we'll find out tomorrow. If they can throw it, because they're gonna. I don't think they'll beat Georgia just running the football.
That's a good point. Like, because Notre Dame's another team that I don't think's had to play anyone that can expose them yet.
Anyone check on Shitty Dave? All right.
All right, Jay, dial in.
They had me fooled early.
Who did?
Oregon. I thought we were making a little bit of a.
They did trick us.
We got Tez Johnson in the backfield, double pass with Dante Moore, double pass to. Where they try to sneak Dante Moore onto the field.
No, he's not a good enough athlete to do much else with. So
I think they were just trying to sneak, and you didn't realize it was Dante Moore back there, and I mean, that seemed
desperate. Yes.
Yeah, and kind of like it just seemed like you're getting a trick play from the jump there.
Especially when they're not executing at unbelievably.
We got Gary Bryant in. Gary Bryant, Holden, and you don't even have Tez Johnson on the football field here.
This is interesting.
All right, Gary.
Well, this is 2 down.
What did Arizona State come back from 16 down in like the last 5 minutes of the game this afternoon?
I'm trying to remember I think it was around like 14 or so. I'm trying to remember. I was like trying to track whether I was covering.
Yep. This is it. Don't oversimplify it like the ND secondary over backup quarterback. I'm with that.
I know, but you still
how quick? Okay.
They're shelling up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, frankly, I would be doing it too.
They're really shelling up.
You just can't have big plays. I mean, there's not that much time left realistically.
You gotta go. Nothing down. I mean, Ohio State's kind of taken away the deeper threat,
no,
though. So you just kind of have to take what's there, I guess. You just got to go fast doing it, which they are, to their credit.
I know there's not that much.
And Tez Johnson just getting locked up there, though, like that. Oh, boy. I mean,
yeah, he can't. He's not. He's taking these sacks.
look at Tez Johnson running this route and just getting like completely jammed by Cody Simon, like a non-competitive. Like, when have we seen Tez Johnson do that ever? Oh,
Yeah.
he could have. Golly.
They're not like getting to anything of their base.
Now can you hold up and pass for a 4th and 11?
Feels unlikely.
All right.
Was nervy.
Yeah. Yards after the catch, baby. It's Oregon's bread and butter. But now you got to stay on schedule. Like, just keep going to the quick stuff and then execute the red zone. You just got to go fast. I mean,
they got to pick it up a little bit. Yeah, they got to pick it way up. It's way too hot.
what up? We got some more coming into the part. I mean, the execution's been bad too. All right.
But really, I think it's like, again, you look, this defensive line is beating them up.
All right. Little freelancing.
You have to. You have to get a little crazy. I do wonder, like, the bye. Are we going to start?
Yeah, we've talked about it because they just didn't look ready to play, and
Arizona State didn't come in ready to play off the rip. They did.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like the greatest example. I'm kind of interested to see how Notre Dame Georgia looks tomorrow night.
Boise State and Arizona State just don't have the guys exactly.
Are they reviewing this for not being a backwards, or I guess a lateral, you'd say?
What? Wait, how could it? Looks
They're
like
going to a review. I think they are. Yeah, Arizona State. If they can keep Kenny Dillingham, I think he's building it the right way.
I just don't see how he's staying there. Like, if the FSU job or.
But the thing is, one, he just signed a big extension. Two, he's ASU guy. So,
yeah,
and that is a program where I don't think you get. Sorry, keep going.
Looks like if Auburn comes up, like Auburn's, I mean, they'll buy him out.
Well, that's if Kenny wants to leave. I look at. Sorry, keep going.
Kalen DeBoer did the same thing, signed the contract and immediately took the Bama job.
Yeah, if a big team wants him, I think it'd be hard to say no. I mean, dude, what if I know it would, I think, be a nice fit. What if Lincoln Riley struggles in 2025?
I know ASU is the alma mater, but I'm not convinced you can easily like win championships there.
See, that's the debate. Is I think Arizona State. I don't know if I call them like a sleeping giant, but I think that's a program where you can get it going there. There's a lot of talent. Get a little high school recruiting tangent here. There's a lot of talent that's moving from California to Arizona, like the state of Arizona at the high school ranks. Like people moving from Cali to Arizona, so you might be able to get. Yeah, I mean, if Kenny had to, I think it's a good fit too. Like I think it's a good fit too. We'll see. We'll see what Lincoln Riley does in 2025. That's a job that I could see opening.
Because
Well, there could be some really big jobs opening up next year.
Florida
You
State.
talk about Auburn with Hugh Freeze, Bailey Napier with Florida. I don't know about Florida State because that buyout's just so massive.
That's true.
Lincoln Riley at USC.
Brent Venables at Oak.
Yeah, Oklahoma, 100%.
There were no jobs really coming open now, but there for sure, you're right, could be some big jobs.
Because this year there wasn't any.
Even Brent Pry at Virginia Tech, I think Virginia Tech's a pretty well.
Oh, I would have thrown him in that.
Arizona State for Virginia Tech, but Virginia Tech's a big job, or a decent job.
Oh my God, they backed him up. That's a killer.
Wait, was it a forward pass?
Yeah.
Oh. Didn't look like a forward pass, but it's kind of hard.
I agree. Staying in the Big 12, I think Arizona State could win a lot of football games and make the playoffs a lot of times in the Big 12.
Yeah, but do you think you can recruit the players?
Wow, what a ball. Dill, back to the game. What a ball. All right. Trayshawn Holden, man.
He's been good for them today.
7 a game. Yeah, I gotta watch him a little bit more. Aguilar. Apparently people like him though. I don't want to get up there, and I just haven't watched enough App State football yet. And there's been a lot of going on in the portal, but I will get to him.
UCLA's had a couple nice, I feel like, gets in the portal.
All right.
I'm a Chisholm guy.
All right. Do you get the onsides here?
You might. No, I don't. It's probably a little early.
It's a really good ball by DG.
Yeah, it was. I don't think you onsided here, but yeah, need a stop and a quick score, a quick stop, quick score kind of thing. And then you think about the onside, maybe. Onsides have been wonky too. I feel like I've seen a lot of.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of success with the onside kicks lately in college. It looks like they. I don't know. We'll see. I think you try something. Let's see.
Now?
We'll see. They're doing a little
They're lining up with you, that's for sure.
Okay, I mean, you win the field position battle. I don't hate that. All right, now let's go get a stop. You backed him up. Get a stop.
Travion Henderson was back there. That's kind of surprising. I'm not in favor of letting your big dogs return.
That was not about a return. That was about hands, I would guess.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Because
we trust to handle the football. Let's see something new like defense. Retweet. It starts winning first down. Let's go.
They have kind of been doing that.
A little bit. No Jeremiah Smith again.
Well, then you can at least.
Kobe Savage, man. He's lost all game. He's lost coming down from a safety spot.
Oh, that's brutal.
The amount of times Oregon's been beat to the perimeter is such a problem.
Been a problem all game or all year.
Both Tashim and Kobe Savage there. That was a disaster. I mean, Kobe Savage, holy smokes.
But honestly, I'm probably more Tashim.
Jabbar too. Just how many times are we going to get beat out on the edge?
Every time, I guess. God, this is a heavy jumbo set for Ohio State.
Another low snap. We haven't really seen it. All right, you win on first down.
Two players in the same. I feel like we've seen that a lot from Oregon today, and again, it's been a bit of an issue
What?
getting runs. Not just like one of the chat, like two players in the same gap. I feel like we've seen it
Yeah.
a handful of times today.
It hasn't been exactly going. Oh, sorry, I didn't see the comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not tackling from the secondary too. But
Another low snap. Dude, the most frustrating part about this performance is it almost seems like Oregon wasn't ready for all the stuff to the perimeter when we just saw Tennessee get smoked by it.
And Penn State gashed them on it too.
Kobe Savage again. This Oregon secondary just a little bit slow.
Yep, they need like real difference makers at the safety spot. Like Dylan Tiedemann type difference makers.
Yeah, well, they got one coming in.
But not that's, I mean, Ohio State and like their perimeter guys are ungodly good. But it's a tough spot.
No, I thought his face started to slide pretty dang early.
Though they started sliding behind the line.
What do you think the line is, Ohio State, Texas?
I think it's gonna be about 4 or 5 points. Ohio State.
I think I'd almost, yeah, probably. I'd almost give him 7, 6.5, 7.
I don't know, man. I still think Texas is good.
Yeah, but this version of Ohio State just kind of changes my.
I agree with that for sure.
Good play, Batch. All right, 3rd and long. You got him where you want it. He needed to stop like 2 first downs ago, though.
Yeah, this has been too long of a drive, and you don't have the timeouts.
Yeah, that's where I think it's coming in. I think I'd take Ohio State anything inside of a touchdown. Hey, was that Aiden Breland?
42, right?
Yeah. All right. All right, Aiden Breland. Get in there. Start doing some damage.
And Ohio State. I was going to say they certainly couldn't afford another injury up front. You probably got to score within 2 minutes or so.
Oh yeah, you're in your 2-minute offense like right away.
Negative 16 yards. That's honestly so true. Their rushing game is
all the negative plays. And you haven't really been able to run the football in the second half because you're playing catch up.
Yep. What's Ryan Day so mad about? The punt coverage?
Yeah, probably.
It's pretty picky. That would have been a really tough. I mean, I get why because it was bouncing back, but that's the thing. I feel like Ohio State isn't the way they're playing defense, I don't even know how you exactly
It's going
do
to be
it.
hard to score quick. Especially because Oregon's really struggled to just pass protect this front four.
And no Evan. It's kind of
That was a huge storyline.
Yeah, I know. I can't remember. Like, do college coaches need to share that news like they do in the NFL?
I don't think there was any news to talk about. They said he got. I don't. Well,
Like-
I'm interested to hear what Dan Lanning has to say after the game. That's probably where I'll leave it.
Yeah.
But you did think he'd play a big role in this game.
Well, I mean,
so here's one thing that like. I don't know. I guess I'll have to rewatch it. But it just seems like what did we say all the last 2 weeks leading up to this game? Is this going to about your guys making plays and Ohio State's given the opportunity for their players to make plays? I mean, Tez Johnson has 5 catches, I think. Evan Stewart has 0. Kenny Sadiq has 1. Trayshawn Holden's played well, but your best players on your football team aren't coming up big.
they just didn't get to anything easy the first half. It was I mean, you can't play that poorly in the first half, and on both sides of the ball, frankly.
All right.
Trails Case Keenum. I didn't realize he put up that big
Oh yeah, Case Keenum was Timothy down in Houston.
I guess it was before Houston had to play good teams, so they were just cooking off ACC or AAC, I guess, maybe. I don't remember if that was a conference.
Go, 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 go. You almost want to drop that. You got to go fast.
Well, honestly, you got to take yards here. They've been too hard to come by.
A heck of a catch by Noah Whittington. It looked like he caught it.
It's a really good catch.
No, we don't need to review that.
Yeah, with that. Although that's not terrible for Oregon, honestly.
Well, they were snapping it. They pretty much waited
I
until
guess,
Oregon.
I guess it wouldn't have mattered, but
All right. Well,
what?
I think I just try to wait it out.
What do you mean?
My bathroom break.
We'll just go now in between the review.
Hey, you caught that. Make this a quick review.
That is a really sick catch. It doesn't really matter.
Let's see here.
No, I think that's catch. It's a really good catch.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you overturn it at least.
That'd be a tough overturn.
All right, Dill. Going into next year, if you're Oregon, biggest things that need to be addressed. I'll probably do an episode on that tomorrow morning.
Secondary, definitely 1. In linebacker, probably 2.
Yep, me too. That's my top 2.
Especially because you're going to lose Betcher and Bossa. Not that I think Bossa's played unbelievable this game, but Betcher's been probably the most consistent guy.
And it just felt like they don't have the difference makers they want to, and that also in the secondary, especially at safety. The cornerback position, I feel so good about. I mean, there are a ton of young studs on this roster. The safety spot, like, I think you're good. You know, guys like Kingston Lopa, Aaron Flowers, Peyton Woodyard. But I just don't think guys like Kobe Savage, It's Akeem Johnson again. He's just playing out of position. But Kobe Savage, I just don't know if he's the athlete that you need.
They're all.
You're getting smoked. JTT is going to work, man. I mean, they are both making a lot of money.
Yeah.
JTT and Jack Sawyer. Because these are NFL tackles. So Johnny and Josh Connolly, the NFL dudes. And I think it's a Johnny who struggled the most.
Yeah, no.
Whether it's Jack Sawyer or JTT.
But that is a big story because the first game they really kind of locked them up.
I think Josh Connolly comes back.
Ooh, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't think he goes above guys like Campbell and Banks. But after those two.
Yeah, I think he could be a first-round pick. Although I will give Oregon credit. They grabbed a few tackles that I think can start next year in the portal. That was the one position you probably have some question marks about.
Yeah, that's true.
Isaiah World was a massive get. All right, Dill, you want to close it out there? Well, we'll see the fourth down. And we'll jump on. We'll talk about the game in a more coherent manner. Betcher's getting away. Is this? If that's true, I like that a lot. Because there are not a lot of off-ball linebackers in the transfer portal.
That is huge if Betcher's back.
And I like some of the young, like Devin Jackson going into another year, and they're punting. All right, that'll do it, right, Dale?
Yeah, I don't think there's much else.
All right, appreciate y'all, Ohio State fans. Congratulations, this team looks very, very dangerous. Oregon fans, really disappointing end to the season. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get in the lab and talk about what needs to get right going into 2025. It's clear this team's going in the right direction. I think for Oregon fans, you're going to be in this spot a lot more over the next 5 to 10 years. Now it's about going out and executing in the biggest moment. Appreciate you guys rocking with it again. Not a great football game. A lot of y'all hung out with the boys for the last 3. I'm even getting annoyed hearing myself speak, so appreciate you guys rocking with it for 3.5 hours. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.